You know what I'm saying? Here we go, man.
It's not bullshit, okay? Some real talk is facts.
What up? What up? What up? Welcome back. Welcome back to another edition of Debate with Bake podcast. I am your host, Charles. Debate with Bake Baker. That's right. Debate with Bake. I'm C Bake, the host of Debate with Bake podcast, brought to you by Mo Serious Entertainment. Shout out to Mo City Podcast, Guns Down, Gloves Up with Dr. Jeremiah and Dr. Candace Matthews, other shows in the Mo Serious family. And shout out to my man, Chuck, that's running the label, aka Chuck, aka Charles Lewis, man, holding us down, the number one producer in the business. And yes, ladies and gentlemen, we are the ESPN of Mo Serious. That's right, MoSerious.com. Go check us out for all the acts I just named and apparel. But what's going down? We got to welcome my man back. He been out for a while. He been on injured reserve. You know what I'm saying? He had to go get his therapy. He had to go get his rehab. He had to get his ankles taped up. But here's the thing. All the x-rays are negative, and he just got a sprain. He doesn't have a break. We can put him back in the game. We can put him back on the field. You know what I'm saying? My man is hurt. He ain't injured. But guess what? He back in the lineup today. And what's up to Debate with Bake co-host Cole? What's up, Cole? Mr. New York City, Mr. AKA Mr. Madison Square Garden, Mr. AKA Five Boroughs, Mr. AKA.
What's good? What's good, man? You know you can't keep us down like OG Anunoby, like my man Randall and Robinson. We coming back for the playoffs, man. I'm back for the playoffs, man. And not only that, we got the Yankees and Mets about to get kicked off this week too. So you know New York is on fire right now.
That's right, man. They don't call him Mr. New York for no reason. So even though he gets bounced, just like the Knicks used to get bounced by the Rockets back in '94 every time we do these debates, but he's back, just like the Knicks. The Knicks were once down. They've been losing for about 25 years, but lo and behold, the pendulum eventually swings and is back in New York. New York is back on top. Jalen Brunson, everybody is going down to New York. It's good for basketball that New York is back. So just like New York basketball, Cole is back. And not only do we have Cole back, but we got my man back, Mr. AKA, Mr. Rowe, Mr. Larry Evans, Mr. H-Town himself. As you can see, he rocking an H-Town jersey. He been holding us down for the last 3 episodes, and we've been appreciating his expertise.
Yes, sir.
That's right. And we hoping that Ro will continue to roll with Debate with Bake, man. He been putting us on, we've been filling in, but we got the all-star lineup in tonight with Ro. Ro, what's going down with you, man?
Man, it's the same thing every day, man.
Every day,
how
man.
we do it.
We doing it, man. We doing it. We got a lot of things to talk about. Everybody check us out on MoSerious.com. Hit that thumbs up. Go on the website. Make sure you pick up some apparel. Check out the other podcasts, the other members of the family, of the Mo Serious family. But it's going down, man. We got a lot to talk about tonight. We got a lot of sports to talk about. We got a lot of things to debate. Hopefully we'll get to most of them. Sometimes these discussions get real, real heated and real detailed, and we like that. But we appreciate that. Come check us out on the chat. Get in the chat, man. Call in, too, if you want at 281-969-8190. Again, you can call in at 281-969-8190. Get in on this. We got a lot of fire topics. I ain't going to say this. Well, I am going to say this, man. A lot of people be stealing, but it's okay. It's okay, man. Everybody got to steal from somewhere. But unfortunately, debate with Bake, we keep it real. We get our own stuff. Sometimes we take from other shows and things like that, but we make the discussions better. But anyway, before we get into this business, let's get into Underdog Fantasy. Let's go, Chuck.
Yo, what's up? Shout out to everybody tuned in right now. If this is coming through your timeline, then y'all know this portion of the program need to be sponsored by Underdog Fantasy. Underdog Fantasy. Let me get it right. But until then, we're gonna keep rocking with it because that's one of the only legal betting sites in Texas. And so we kind of forced to rock with it. Underdog, if y'all see this, y'all really need to pay us for saying that. With that being said, man, let's get into it. Matter of fact, let me bring Cole on the screen first. You know what I'm saying? And then we'll come over here. All right, so we got NBA games tonight, right? We got NBA games tonight. They're giving us the freebie with Tyrese Halliburton. They playing the Clippers, so we'll definitely take the higher on that. Yeah, definitely take that. This game here, I'm gonna scroll down to the games that was at 6:30. It was Boston, Atlanta. So what y'all looking like for Tatum and for Jaylen Brown? You think Tatum gonna have and they got me limited over here.
I got Brown going for more than 6 in the first quarter. He a little nut.
To my points?
Yeah, more than 6 points in the first quarter.
What you think, Ro?
Yeah, more than likely. More than likely.
All right.
You ride with that. That's easy. That's pretty easy.
What y'all think about DeJounte Murray? Think he gonna have higher than 25 points or lower than 25 points?
I say less.
What you got, Ro?
They really ain't got nothing. He gonna have to put up more.
So I like this one here. What y'all think about 39.5 points? And that's in total of points, rebounds, and assists.
I would be more inclined to go with that. Because the thing about it, and it's kind of unfair to Murray, like I don't, nobody really watched the Hawks like that. But
But yeah, without Trey, he been the one been going off lately. When I do see, even in their L's, they've been taking.
Right.
He hit 35.
Yeah, he be in the stat column.
I would go with the combined.
You think he gonna go higher or lower than it?
What is it? What's the numbers again?
39.5.
And
So
that's
lower,
point.
That's points, rebounds, and assists.
I say lower.
I say lower too.
I want to go
Against
lower.
Boston?
Yeah, against Boston. Yeah, Boston killing stuff
You
right
feel
now.
me?
Where they at? In Boston or Atlanta?
This is versus Boston. This is in Atlanta.
Okay, yeah, I'm with y'all on that. All right, yeah, lower.
All right, that's cool. I'm gonna tap out right there. All right, Underdog Fantasy. I know what it is. We done won a few dollars too, and so like I said, if y'all just come across y'all timeline, I so appreciate y'all. Tap in with your boy. Let's make this arrangement official.
That's right. Let's make it official, man. They don't call him the hardest working man in the podcast business for nothing, but appreciate that, Chuck, keeping us on that Underdog Fantasy. But that's all good, man. Listen, I'm telling Underdog and everybody else, you better jump on the train right now because just like Canelo Alvarez, yesterday's price will not be tomorrow's price. And we will get to that later on, how these prices change. But get on the train right now, just like everybody else, because when this most serious train take off, it ain't going to be cheap to get on this ride. So get on it right now. All right, shout out to Underdog Fantasy, but let's get into it. Let's go to the National Football League first. Now, of course, we're getting into draft season. There's a lot of things that's been going on as far as free agency-wise in the NFL. I think the NFL is kind of on fire, man. But this came across my timeline, and I'm pretty sure everybody else has been talking about it, as ludicrous as it sounds. But I thought it'd be good to talk about it because some people do believe what this young man is saying. But on I Am Athlete, I'm going to give credit to the podcast I got this off of. Tad Prescott, which is the brother, I'm not sure if he's older or younger than Dak Prescott, went on record and said that Jalen Hurts is not a top 10 quarterback in the National Football League. Now, his direct quote was, in reference to Hurts not being a top 10 quarterback, and let me say this now. This is his direct quote coming up in the following. No, Jalen Hurts, you said quarterbacks, referring to, I guess, the young men who were on the panel talking about this topic, referring to them. You said quarterbacks, not running backs. He adds that Jalen Hurts is not a quarterback. He has the following as his top 10 current quarterbacks in the NFL. And this is Prescott's brother. This is Tad Prescott's list. Patrick Mahomes, his brother Dak, Lamar Jackson, Josh Allen, Aaron Rodgers, Joe Burrow, Tua Tagovailoa, I cannot say that dude's name, Jared Goff, Matthew Stafford, and Joe Flacco. Now, my first question to the panel today, and we'll start with you, Cole. We'll start with you, Cole. Do you agree with this assessment of Hurts that Hurts is not a top 10 quarterback? And then we'll go to Larry and we'll talk about it. But let's go with you, Cole. Do you agree with Prescott saying that Hurts is not a top 10 quarterback?
I 100% disagree with the dude. I think he's top 6 in the game. Considering I think if he's want to talk about pocket passer, I think that's something he's improved every single year. But I think now when you think of quarterback, you got to think about can they do things outside the pocket as well? Can they improvise? And I think that he's one of the best improvisers in the game, which to me makes him a top 5, top 6 in the game.
Okay, so Ro, what do you think? And then we'll get into the list right after that. Do you agree with his statement that Jalen Hurts is not a top 10 quarterback?
You talking about Ted Prescott? You talking about Cole?
No, I'm talking about
Ted
Prescott. Yeah, he's saying that
man.
Jalen Hurts should not be a top 10 quarterback.
I ain't never rolled with nobody from up north harder. Now, 100% disagree, man. No,
so
absolutely.
You think Hurts is a top 10 quarterback?
Absolutely, absolutely, no question. It's like I don't know. I was watching Boondocks last night, and this sounded like Uncle Ruckus almost, man. It was like, what? You gonna tell me that in the same division? Because I figured, okay, Tad must be his daddy before I read up or something. I was like, this got to be his old man, his son, somebody that I don't know. But to pop off like that and then to rattle off a list like this, they shook in that camp, just to be all the way honest, apparently. And it's like Dak didn't restructure. He got at least one more year. I don't know what they hit panic mode for, but we're going to continue, man.
All right, so let's critique his list. So I'm with y'all too, man. I'm like, I think this dude, number one, he hating because, again, this is the same division that his brother is in, meaning Dak Prescott. But can we name? I would ask that question to him. He's got his list here. All right, let's talk about his list. Let's see if we agree with this list, and then we'll go from there. All right, so Tad got Mahomes, Prescott again, Lamar Jackson, Josh Allen, Rodgers, Burrow, Tua, Jared Goff, Matthew Stafford, and Joe Flacco. Now, Cole.
My boy got that nerve.
Cole, let's look at this list, man. Like, all right. Number one, Cole, who do you disagree with in terms of who should be on this list in terms of top 10 quarterbacks in the NFL?
I think just the fact that he put Joe Flacco above him, who was out the league and playing for the Jets as a second behind Zach Wilson for what, 2 seasons. He should. Oh man, yo, we shouldn't even be debating this, yo. This dude sound like a fool.
All right, so we definitely could take out Flacco.
You can take out Matthew Stafford too. I have respect for him, but he's not better than at this moment and this right now in his career. He's not better than Hurts.
Okay, so Cole, you already agree that Stafford and Flacco can go,
and Goff can go,
And
what has Tua done? You know?
All right, so you agree, and I agree too, that we could take Tua, Goff, Stafford, and Flacco off, right?
And you could take his brother off too as well.
All right. So Ro, what you think? Who could come off this list?
Oh, I just came up with a complete restructuring, man. I said, look, man, we're gonna take the top 10. I'm gonna throw Dak at 11 just out of spite, just because it's like, nah, man, Dak is not a top 10 quarterback. Period. It's just not the case.
Right.
The numbers wise, yes, but no. I had to restructure the list. I got Pat at the top for sure. I got Joe Cool. I got Josh Allen. I got Lamar. I got Jalen. I got CJ.
Oh, yes.
What's wrong with everybody? I got CJ. Then I got Tua. I got Justin Herbert out there for shits and giggles. And then I got like Jared Goff. So it's like, and then I throw a Kirk Cousins or somebody from last week out there even just because it's like, man, nah. You talking about if I'm finna be top 10 and the 10 just finna really fall off as the remainder anyway, yeah. That's about how we finna do it. Because, Nah, like Dak and Flacco and Aaron, even A-Rod, because it's like
you gotta have
hypothetically speaking, A-Rod all the way healthy, coming back for another shine season with New York. I wouldn't even look to him to play no more than half the year, to be honest. I really wouldn't look to him to play more than half the year. I mean, he's just at that age. He's washed. He's been away for a long period of time. And there's no knock to the Jets, man. You know what I'm saying? It's like, it is what it is. But nah, that list was
it's crazy,
insane.
right?
Like, why would he even rattle that off? Like, it's
All right, now Cole, I'm gonna go back to you. All right, so Larry gave us his list. Give me your list. Give me just throw me names, Cole. I know who you'll take off of, but who do you replace who with what?
I'm putting Patrick Mahomes. I'm putting CJ Stroud. I'm keeping Lamar. I'm keeping Josh. Keeping Aaron Rodgers. Keeping Joe Burrow. Before I even put Flacco, I would have put. Nah, I don't know. They about time. I was gonna say Deshaun Watson, but we had that conversation before. Those they on the same level too. It's tough, man. I put Jalen Hurts after that.
Okay.
But everybody else to me is kind of in the same category. Never won nothing, never did anything big.
Okay.
Don't stand out to me. Oh, and Herbert.
Okay, that's what I'm about to say.
I forgot to put him in there.
Okay. All right, cool. I'm not sure if that's 10, but that's close enough. I'm gonna go Mahomes, Lamar, Josh. I'm gonna keep Rodgers in there. I'm gonna keep Burrow. I'm gonna put Herbert. I love Herbert. Hurts. I mean, it does get kind of tricky. I mean, to be spiteful, it's like Stafford, Goff, are they really better than Dak?
I say yes. They went to the Super Bowl.
Hey, and won.
One of them won.
Yeah, Stafford.
Yeah.
Stafford.
Okay, and Goff went far this year with Detroit, right?
Was he with Detroit? Went to the Super Bowl too.
Hey, Flacco got a ring? Does Flacco
went to the Super Bowl?
Yeah, Flacco got a ring from a long time ago, Baltimore.
With Baltimore?
All right, but do you think Flacco this year was better than Dak's?
For all intents and purposes, yeah. He got off his couch, absolutely. Dak played all year and wasted them people money, man. Like, come on. I'm not finna, like Tad, shout out to Tad, shout out to Dak. I ain't hating on nobody. I don't hate on nobody's hustle. I don't knock nobody's hustle. That's just not what type of person I am. However, at the same time, stay in your lane. That's all I'm saying.
Okay, but if we talk about, all right. We all agree that Hurts should be on this list. But if we just talking about this year, yeah, Hurts is on this list. Easy. Flacco would be on this list too.
I mean, the tush push along.
A Super Bowl appearance.
Yeah, a Super Bowl appearance, and then like they are changing the rules for these boys and what they got going on. That's just a dig at him for being able to run the ball effectively. That's ridiculous. This is absolutely preposterous. He's not a running back.
Right.
He's got Devontae Smith and AJ Brown. I mean,
but I mean, in all fairness, if somebody, I mean, I gotta push back because in all fairness,
you also forgot one, Bait. You forgot to put Brock Purdy. And I got a shout out to my boy who had hit me up with a text message. He's watching. He said Brock Purdy.
Okay.
Top 10.
Okay.
Tell your boy post that in the comments.
Okay. All right. For this year, if we go in this year, yeah, he had a better season. Did he have a better season than Dak this year?
Yeah, he had a better season than Dak. He went to the Super Bowl.
But statistically speaking, like did he really light it up? Like Dak lit it up. I give him that.
Regular season, he did
exactly. I mean, the same.
I think winning is I would say what's the word I'm trying to say?
Yeah, winning is like you can. It's the ultimate stat. So I can get with you on that. If we just talking about this year, I give you that. Because in that case, then. I mean, that's why I just asked Laro, can I put Flacco above Dak this year? I mean, Flacco got comeback player of the year. That's just an accomplishment. But as far as what the Browns dealt with and what the Cowboys dealt with, like, it also depends on what you're looking at as far as expectations, because nobody expected the Browns, amongst all the dysfunction they had this year, to do what they did. And Flacco was a big reason for that.
I could agree with that, though.
At the end of the day, like, you know, say what you want about Dak Prescott. What did they go 12-5? They won a division. Did they win a division this year?
I don't think so. I think Jalen won it.
But remember, Jalen went on a losing streak at the
end. They did.
I think the Cowboys won that division.
So the Eagles was in on the wild card.
I think so.
No, I think
But you know what it
Nah,
is when it comes
Dallas
to that.
wasn't no wild card this year. I don't think. I
You
don't
know what
think
it
so. I
is when
think
it comes to him though. He reminds me a lot of Jason Tatum, yo.
who
He
you
just
talking about when you say
disappears all the
him?
time. Dak Prescott, he just disappears in the big.
Well, he
Why would you
disappeared.
disappear?
He disappears
Wait.
in the postseason. In all
He
fairness,
does.
in the postseason, right? I mean, he disappears in the postseason, but I mean, he is a good quarterback in the regular season, though.
I mean, shout out to Jason Tatum. Man. I don't even know what that was about. Man, to be honest, what?
He be taking shots because he takes shots at the Celtics because they in the same division as the
Nah,
Knicks.
Jason Tatum do be
I mean,
disappearing, yo. Jalen
he
Brown be
does
showing
sometimes,
up.
bro.
I've
He
He
seen,
won
does.
that
I've seen,
finals.
I've
Right.
seen him in that they haven't won one. They haven't wrapped it up with all this regular season excellence.
Right,
You know what I'm saying?
right.
I can understand that.
Right,
Okay,
I get
that's
where
fair.
Cole coming
That's
from.
fair. That's fair.
It could appear that he could be a
That's
hater,
fair.
but
That's fair.
it's some truth behind that. You know what I'm saying? But I don't know. We'll figure it out. But we all agree that Hurts is definitely a top 10 quarterback. This is crazy. I think this is a shot from the brother. It's kind of looking bad because it's like, man, your brother really ain't done nothing. I mean, to truth be told, Jalen has already passed him in terms of, like y'all said, he's been to a Super Bowl versus where Dak is. Has he gotten out of the second round yet?
Mm-mm.
Yeah, and it's been disappointing losses every year. But I just thought it was a funny topic because it was like, wow, it got a lot of airplay because I'm like, yeah, it's kind of that's hating.
Man,
That's
can you
kind of
imagine the newspaper articles going to be up in the locker room in
Exactly.
Philly and behind some trash like that? It's
And
like,
then
why
at
would
the
he
end
do
of
that?
and then you kind of putting some pressure on your brother. He ain't really lived up to nothing yet. You know what I'm
At all.
saying? Like sometimes, hey, man, I'm trying to get over the hump. You can't be saying that. You know what I'm saying? But anyway, let's get to the next topic. It's hilarious. But at this present date, I gotta ask you two gentlemen a question in the chat. You all can get in on this too. Please comment. But at this present date, and I'm talking about right now, March the 25th, 2024, which AFC offense are you taking and why? Or we can rank them. AFC South offense. All right, number one. Let's go with the Indiana Colts. And I'm just doing the running back, quarterback, receiver duel. Not duel, but partnership with these guys. For the Colts, you got Anthony Richardson, who's coming back. Cole is very high on him. I'm talking about the Colts. Jonathan Taylor, Pittman, Downs, and Granson. For the Jacksonville Jaguars, you got Trevor Lawrence, ETN, Kirk, Davis, and Ingram. For the Houston Texans, you got Stroud, Mixon, Collins, Dale, and Schultz. And for the Tennessee Titans, you got Lewis, Pollard, Hopkins, Ridley is over there now, and Okowo. I don't have the first names. That's my fault. But let's just get into it. I'm assuming both of you guys know y'all are real good in sports. So at this present date, Cole, which AFC South offense are you taking? Why and now? Or you can rank them. Who do you think is the best between Indianapolis, Jacksonville, Houston, and Tennessee at this present date?
So, oh man, I'm gonna rank them. I'm gonna put Houston because I'm a huge fan of Collins and Dell, man, and I love Schultz. Schultz, that was the steal that y'all got from Dallas, and Mixon, he's a solid running back.
Mm-hmm.
I definitely think they're the best offensive team. Y'all got the best quarterback in the division. Even though I do like Lawrence, they would come in number 2 with Travis Etienne. I think he's the best running back. Well, I can't say that. Him and Taylor, they're two different type of running backs. I feel like Etienne though has a little bit of a Marshall Faulk to his game, or Edgerrin James.
Multi-purpose. Yeah.
Multi-purpose back, definitely. Tennessee, I would have chosen them if they would have had a real quarterback. I don't think they have a quarterback on that team, so I don't know how far they'll go. And I do love Indianapolis. I just wish Richardson could have played a little bit more this year, got a little bit of experience under his belt. So I can't really gauge them as yet.
So you going Houston number 1, Jacksonville 2, and who you got 3 or 4 out of Tennessee and Indianapolis?
I'll go with Indianapolis
3
because I trust Richardson as a quarterback more than I trust the 2 quarterbacks in Tennessee that they drafted back to back. So
right. All right. So you got Houston, Cole. You got Houston, Jacksonville, Indianapolis, and Tennessee as the AFC South offenses that you're taking right now.
Mm-hmm.
All right, Ro, what you got?
For the first time, actually, I'm in complete agreement with Cole. Just about. I'm I'm extremely high on CJ and our core here in Houston. You know what I'm saying? Minus Schultz, I think we lost him to New England. To be honest,
I think he did.
I
now
think
that I
New
think about
England
it.
signed him. So whoever we line up at tight end should be fine. To be all the way honest, just I like the fact that they showed up the running game with Mixon. Now we have a real decent, very balanced attack. You know what I'm saying? So we are really kind of head and shoulders above the rest. Uh, Jacksonville next because Trevor Lawrence and ATN, all that deal. Along with Chris Kerr, the big loss was Ridley. That makes them a little less explosive, but we'll just see how that pans out because that could rein Lawrence in. Lawrence could still have a considerably better year if he learns to take what the defense is giving. I honestly didn't see enough of Richardson, and I'm not a big fan of Indianapolis. You know what I'm saying? I know it's like Jonathan Taylor, or the back is the truth. Pittman is nice, but I didn't see enough. I think it was Gardner Minshew or somebody else really just orchestrating the majority of it last year where I didn't get a good look at them. And I'd be more willing to take Tennessee with that receiving duo of Hopkins and Ridley just out there with whoever throwing the ball up to those guys, they're gonna do a little bit of something, followed by Indy, just because it's like I need them boys back. We know they're not gonna be back there, but I need them boys back there in the division anyway. So
All right,
that's how
all
we're
right.
gonna do that.
All right, so Cole and Laro agree. I'm gonna go against the grain a little bit. I'm gonna stick with number one with the Texans. I think the Texans, to me, the key to today's offenses for them to be successful is the quarterback in a pass-friendly game. So I'm going with Stroud. I love the addition of Mixon. I think Mixon is just the best kept secret in the NFL. Just my opinion. I think Cincinnati they're gonna suffer from that. He came from the Bengals, I believe. We're gonna see how much they mixed in, but I like that. I love the receiving core, and like you said, Laro, I agree with you. They could put me at the tight end. I'm not as high on Trevor Lawrence as you guys are, and the thing about it is like, when does he start to get the criticism? How long has he been in the league? When does he start to get, hey, what's going on? We put this person around you. We built this. We built that. We've had different coaches. I just feel like they keep making excuses for Lawrence. Now, with that being said, people will say, yeah, but that doesn't mean nothing in terms of when you think about your next choice. And I'm comparing, and I agree with you all. I got Tennessee at the back because I don't know the quarterback situation. Great receiver duel, or could be a great receiver duel in Tennessee, but I don't know who's throwing to him. But just to talk about Lawrence, I'm just a little bit disappointed in him. I felt like, he's had a couple of pretty good seasons, but he hasn't quite broken out like I think he should. The talent that he has around him and the talent that he has. I am high on Richardson. I am very high on Richardson. Cole put me on to him, and since I've been watching him, I think his ceiling is going to be higher than Lawrence. I think he's going to be a better player than Lawrence. Now, people are going to criticize me and say, hey, you said in your question who you taking right now and why. The resume and what's going on with Lawrence, of course, he's got more than Richardson. I don't think we've had enough of Richardson to really, really compare, but I'm going to step out on faith. I think what I've seen from Richardson, if he can stay healthy, and of course, I know I definitely believe in Taylor and Pittman. I'm going to take Indianapolis number 2. I just think Richardson is a higher talent. I'm not that impressed with Trevor Lawrence. He is yet to have the breakout that I think he should be having. That's a little bit tough. That's a tough criticism, but I think Jacksonville has done everything in their power to try to put something behind him. Now, has he totally disappointed me? No. But how long? How long are we going to wait? Here's the thing. If Chicago is letting Justin Fields walk out of the door, why isn't Trevor Lawrence that far behind? You know what I'm saying? And I think Lawrence has had more of an opportunity to do more than Fields. So I like what I see from Richardson. If Richardson gets out of bounds and he's healthy, I'm going on a projection. I'm not, again, the question is who you taking right now. What I see from Richardson, as big, as strong as he is, the skills of Richardson, And Taylor, I think the world of Taylor. That's no disrespect to ETN. I think he's one of the best running back. I call him a multi-purpose back, like Cole said.
Mhm.
I'm rolling with Indianapolis. I'm rolling with Indianapolis this year because at the end of the day, I think this was the year, and Laro and Chuck can speak to this. Like we got a historic year this year with the Texans, but I'm gonna tell you something. It was that play where Indianapolis they dropped that pass or whatever. If Anthony Richardson is in that lineup, what's going on with them, and if he can play like I think he's capable of,
And
that might have been a different
right?
game.
That was Minshew. I remember
Exactly.
in there with them boys.
Exactly.
Right,
so
right.
I'm gonna roll with Indianapolis as my number 2.
Did he go down for the year in the game
Yeah.
against us too?
Yeah,
I think so.
separated his shoulder or broke his collarbone, one or the
Yeah.
other.
And I'm gonna give Cole his credit because Cole is the one that actually put me on this kid. I like what I saw from Richardson.
They drafted. Where's he out of? What schools he out of?
I don't know, but Cole
He
was
came from I want to say it was Miami. He came from. If I'm
At the
correct.
U? He's at the U.
I think he was at the U.
He's nice. Yeah.
Now I didn't know.
Nice,
That's what I'm saying. I didn't know much about him, but when Cole was the one like, "Hey, watch out for this kid." You know what I'm saying? Like, and I started watching him, and the only thing I mean, of course, he made rookie mistakes.
Florida. He played for Florida.
Yeah, he made rookie mistakes, but what I saw from the raw talent, and the only thing I was saying to myself is, if he get out of bounds, but I love his attitude. You know what I'm saying? But he's got to learn how to get out of bounds. But I'm gonna roll with Indianapolis number 2. I think Taylor. I think the world of Taylor. I think the upside for Richardson is more for me than Lawrence.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I'm running. I'm going Houston, Indianapolis, Jacksonville, and I'm only taking Tennessee because I don't know what they have at quarterback. But to your point about the wide receivers, that could be, he's got a left and a lot in the tank. And Hopkins, even though his speed is not what he used to be, he's still a great possession receiver for me. And let me ask y'all a question while I'm on Hopkins. Does he get in the Hall of Fame? Does he need to do more?
He needs to do more.
Cole?
I think he needs to.
I think what keeps him out the Hall of Fame right now is the fact that he's not known for like winning like that. Like they went to the playoffs a few times with him and Watson, but
some people will argue though if Andre could get in.
Everybody that's traded for him has kind of declined, to be honest.
But,
unfortunately, it's like,
but he's a wide receiver though.
But he was suspended with Cardinals, I think. Didn't he serve an 8-game suspension?
They got him for the performance enhancing stuff, and then it's like, yeah, he did go to teams, and it's not, the blame is not squarely on him. However, if a team deals and makes a deal for you on the decline, that's technically a rebuild. You just a veteran to teach the young ones, I mean.
But some people would counter that. Again, Andre Johnson, probably one of the best Houston Texans of all time. He never had a great quarterback, and he got in.
Did he retire a Texan?
Nah, I think he retired a Titan or something like that.
Nah.
I don't think he retired as a Texan. I don't think Andre retired as a Texan. But his most of his body of work is with the Texans. He got in on a Hall of Fame.
I give him that on a workman thing with different quarterbacks. Yeah, see, it's the fact that DeAndre bounced around, and for a little while he did it here with the quarterback carousel, and that's when it was at its most impressive point because he was snagging everything.
Right.
Then he moved to Arizona and kind of got exposed once they hit you with that piss test. It's like wait a minute now. It's a reason you fighting them boys off at the line a little bit. I mean, no disrespect.
People can say that.
Yeah, no, man. Shout out to DeAndre, man. That's the home. He goes hard in the paint. Like I take nothing away. But at this particular point in time, I don't know. Once you land in Tennessee, that's kind of your last stop. It's just like Julio, just like everybody else, because they send you there. And Tennessee was historically playing without a quarterback.
It's like
Tannenhill was there stealing for years.
Right.
So,
and some people are calling that, to your point, some people are calling that a wide receiver graveyard in Tennessee.
Yeah.
Julio should have retired a long time ago. He looking like Jeff Green out there, man. Like, yo, you still in the league?
Shots fired all the way from the Burrows. Wow, man, Jeff Green. Ooh. All right. Well, I mean, man, I'm just asking, man, because it's gonna come up. I too agree with all of y'all. I don't think Hopkins done enough. I think his greatest campaign is in Houston, and it's just unfortunately with the quarterback debacle and everything. I mean, he probably had his greatest years with Watson, huh? How long was that?
Well, you know what? But look at it like this. J.J. Watt's going to the Hall of Fame on the body of work with the Texans. You know what I'm saying? It's like, arguably.
That's why I bring it up.
Andre as well.
But that's different, though. That's different. J.J. Watt was doing.
And you got to look at Watt's resume: 3-time Defensive Player of the Year.
Yeah.
I mean,
but he was all pro here. He had about as productive a career as like Andre under.
That's why I said
quarterback.
That's what I was saying. If Andre gets in, Hopkins has got to be considered.
Off his time here, how many seasons was he here?
It's a good question.
Because we drafted him out of Clemson shortly before.
I think they brought him here because of
Watson.
Watson, yeah.
He can't go into the Hall of Fame until Antonio Brown go into the Hall of Fame.
That's fair.
Facts.
That's
Facts.
fair. That's fair. That's fair. I mean, I can't argue that, but I mean, they're not gonna put Brown in just because of. I think Brown should go. Like for me. And I'm glad you brought that up because I always said this in that era, in that particular time, to me, Brown was number one because of the speed. Hopkins never had breakaway speed. When you talk about being physical at the line of scrimmage and catch anything, I had those at one time in the NFL, my top two receivers. Brown being number one just because of the separation of speed and catches, and then Hopkins because of the hands. At that time, those two were running the NFL for me.
But wait, Antonio Brown won in Tampa and in Pittsburgh. He won rings both places.
I agree. That's why.
I think he left that playoff game against the Bills. So
he got kicked off. He got kicked off.
But does he get a ring for that?
Yeah,
I'm pretty sure he still get a ring, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So, I mean, I don't know, man. That's worth the debate later. But I mean, y'all should be thinking about that because that's what I was saying. Like, if, and I know Andre probably has a larger body of work, but I mean, it's like if you could argue for Andre, why you can't argue for DeAndre? You know what I'm saying? It's kind of the same circumstances.
Who?
For Andre.
No, the last person after you DeAndre, you said okay.
DeAndre, right. If you can argue for Andre Johnson, you can make an argument for DeAndre Hopkins.
I think that Andre, what's his name, Johnson had a better career. He played with lesser quarterbacks, and he did it more. His longevity was longer than Hopkins as far as greatness.
But I mean, Hopkins is still in the league. He could turn it around.
But what has he done? Julio Jones been trying to turn around for a while.
That boy hit you with the Janet Jackson.
See, I just feel like when receivers go down. Like it's like trying to Plexico Burris came back, but he was never the same. Like,
wait, did he win in New York? Plexico won in New York?
Yeah, he won. He won after he got shot, and then after that, his game was shot, yo. It was a wrap for him.
Hey, Chuck, give me a hand clap for that, man. I can't even argue that, man. My man came with the heat on that. I mean, no, it's up for discussion. I mean, probably, I'm just saying, for the people that say he could get in, they say his career could be comparable to Andre, but we'll talk about that later. All right, let's stick with wide receivers. Speaking of DeAndre Hopkins and Andre Johnson, who is the best wide receiver duo at this present date? Now, here's the choices I got. I got the Kansas City Chiefs. We talking really off the back of free agency. Hollywood Brown, Rasheed Wallace for the Kansas City Chiefs. For the Chicago Bears, DJ Moore, Keenan Allen, who just came over from the Chargers. Then the Tennessee Titans, again, like Laro brought up. Ridley and DeAndre Hopkins. All right, Cole, you go first. Which wide receiver duel are you taking at this present day out of the three?
Cause I love Caleb, yo. I'm one of the biggest Caleb fans, man. I think he's the real deal. I think he's gonna be nice. You got to take DJ Moore and Keenan Allen, but I already know what Hollywood Brown's gonna do with Mahomes, man. But he's gonna spread the wealth around, so it's not gonna seem everyone's gonna touch the ball with the Chiefs. At least with Chicago, you already know you might get 2,000-yard receivers. With the Chiefs, you might get 4 players with 600 or 700 yards. So I'm definitely going with DJ Moore and Keenan Allen. The reason why, again, I'm not choosing Tennessee's tandem is because I don't trust their quarterbacks yet.
Okay, but let me put you on the spot for that. Of course, you don't trust their quarterbacks, but let's just play a game of Madden. Let's play a fantasy game. Let's just say you got Mahomes on all 3 of these teams. So the quarterback level is equal, which leaves you with just the receivers to pick from. Are you still taking DJ Moore and Keenan Allen?
I am.
All the quarterbacks are the same.
Their track records as being number 1 receivers has been a lot better than Calvin Ridley. has been a lot better than Rashee Rice, even though he's going to be nice. And Hollywood kind of disappeared the last couple of years. But you could possibly say it's because the quarterback got injured for the Cardinals. So, but I'm still going with DJ Moore and Keenan Allen. If you saw what DJ Moore did last year without what's his name,
Right.
Being a great quarterback from the pocket, you gotta give him his props.
Okay. All right. What you got? What you got, Laro?
Man, I'm not gonna lie. I got to cross out A, B, and C for you. It's like I got to go all the way to like the East and get Tyreek Hill and Jalen Waddle. You know what I'm saying? Or AJ Brown and Devontae Smith. Or I gotta come home and take Tank and Nico. To be all the way honest, like we really got three real. There are a lot of prolific.
Wilson and Williams hit with the Jets now.
Yeah, I know that. I'm just saying, man, we could do that, but I'm just saying, out of
those three,
yeah.
Out of those three, yeah, it's like I'm rocking with Pat because he gonna win with whatever he's got, regardless. I'm inclined to go with Cole with Chicago. I'm real high on Chicago simply because even if the kid slightly doesn't live up to expectations, Caleb's still gonna get. I mean, with those two particular types of weapons, Caleb's still gonna do his thug thistle.
And don't forget, and I'm asking you this because this is off the backs of free agency. Not Hill and all, of course, they're already there. These are the ones they just put together.
Oh, so it's a new look?
Yeah,
the new look?
That's why I'm asking.
And then it's like, well, I don't have as much confidence in Tennessee simply because the kid's name is Will Rogers. Who knows what the kid's name is in Tennessee? And it's like, I'm just not going to count on him. I don't have any confidence in what they're doing on the offensive line. They have been historically built around Derrick Henry and a strong pound the ball down the field, feed the running back 10 times, or feed the running back 30 times a game type of offense. And I mean, like we just said, DeAndre is on a sharp decline, to be honest. No disrespect, DeAndre.
I like that sharp. I like the sharp decline. I like how you described that. Yeah.
And Calvin Ridley is somewhat of an X factor question mark because he's going to become disgruntled, I believe, and probably be on the move again shortly thereafter, this time in Tennessee, because that is the graveyard, so to speak.
Right.
So, great. You got Will Levis throwing you the ball.
So check this out, man. Your boy Malik. What's up, Malik? Malik added a comment. What did he say, Chuck? Because I got a glare over here. I can't really see.
Man, let's say AJ don't have the PEDs hanging over him like DeAndre.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
Facts.
That's true.
Big
That's
facts.
true.
What's up, Davo? What's up with it,
What's
Davo?
up with you, Malik? Yeah, let me go with this. The best wide receiver duo at the present day, of course, to me, it's out of the Bears and the Chiefs. And the reason why I say that is this. Oh man. Well, let me make a distinction. For what I know with DJ Moore and Keenan Allen, just individually, bringing them together, and everything that could possibly come about as far as Caleb. I'm like Cole, I got high hopes for Caleb. And I just thought about this. Let me rewind. So let me pose this question to both of y'all before I make my choice. Who is the number one receiver out of this group, out of DJ Moore and Keenan Allen? Who should get the ball first if everything works out? Because that's going to help me with my choice. I mean, I'm leaning towards the Chicago duel, but here's the thing. But do we agree that both of these guys coming from their teams were both the number one receivers?
We agree with that.
Okay.
I agree with that.
So does this wide receiver duel work? Who is more inclined to say, I'm okay with not getting as much balls as I was in LA and where Moore came from? Who do y'all think is a number two receiver in this situation? And Cole, I'll start with you first because of Caleb. If everything works out in Chicago the way you think, and then I'll go to Laro after this. If everything works out in Chicago the way you think it should, who takes the number two role in this duel?
So I think they both shine. I think that Keenan is naturally the number two. I think DJ Moore has a lot of Steve Smith in him. He does a little bit of everything, slide outside, physical. end the rounds, everything. So I think he's definitely the number one. If he decides to let Keenan, because he's the guy who's there, he might want to make him comfortable. He might allow him to get a little bit of shine early on, but overall, I think DJ Moore is his team. He proved it last year.
Okay. What you think, Larry? Who's number one, number two out of that duo? DJ Moore, Keenan Allen.
I was gonna say the inverse, simply because I mean, with Caleb coming in, he's gonna need the kind of target he can just kind of rely. He's gonna need that relationship with that particular receiver. And Keenan Allen is just he's a big target. You know what I'm saying? It's like he gives him a little more wiggle room in terms of places on the ball. I mean, places on the field. He can place the ball for him to make particular grabs. He's a possession receiver and he stretches the field. You know, so it's like DJ Moore, a little more explosive. I think we can all agree on.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like he'll benefit a lot if they can add a third little weapon, and if they can put him in a slot a little bit more. It's like they'll have some exotic packages where they can really show off Caleb's athleticism and what Caleb can do a little bit better if they can add one more receiver to that particular tandem. But it's like the way that I run my particular offense, I need a big possession receiver target. You know what I'm saying?
So you're going with Allen being your number one receiver.
Allen's got to be my number one, and it's like DJ is my slash, so to speak, because I might even do some end rounds with DJ and stuff like that, you know. So it's like, you know.
Okay, and that makes it a little bit more clear for me, because that's what I was thinking about. Okay, so I would actually agree with probably both of you. I think, and this is the reason why I think they will be the best wide receiver duo. I think both can be number one and number two receivers. I would lean more towards probably Moore, because I think Moore in this stage of his career is more explosive. I think he'll blow the top off the defense. Now, I agree with Larry in the sense that Allen is my possession guy. And so with that being said, I needed to hear that from both of y'all, because I'm sitting there going, okay, who's number one, who's number two if everything works out? So I think I'm gonna roll with that duo. I think DJ Moore and Keenan Allen, I think is more potential there. I think both of them can be explosive at times. I think I would lean more towards Allen being the possession receiver. But I'm gonna roll with that Chicago duo. I got big hopes for Chicago. I think Caleb has a very, very NFL ready game. We'll see what they do on the offensive line, but I'm gonna roll with that duo.
We have a question in the chat. Question is, what do y'all think about JJ McCarthy? You think the Commanders will take him number 2? Will he start right away? How successful can he be?
All right, Larry, you go first with that. Answer that question. That's the Michigan quarterback, right?
Mm-hmm.
What you think, Larry?
Oh, I got caught like a deer in the head. I was like, who in the world is that? No.
Just won the national championship.
I think he's a strong tool, to be all the way honest. I mean, and of course he can. He's ready. He's ready to roll off the bat, because this is one of those unusual quarterback classes where there are, like, I can think of 3 or 4 ready-made guys that are kind of ready to start off the bat. You know, so I would feel real comfortable with JJ going at 2 if that is the case.
Cole, what you got?
I see another Zachariah Wilson with JJ McCarthy, man.
I'm about to say, Cole, you've been burned with that type of quarterback with the Jets.
Yeah, man. Like, I understand he's been with Harbaugh and everything, but I feel like he's a bust. I watched the national championship game, and nothing that he did was like eye popping.
I agree.
Like when I think of the quarterbacks in this draft, I think of Caleb, I think of Drake May. I think of Penix. I think he's the one his stock is going up. But I actually, when I was watching him, and he was playing for Washington, which came out of nowhere and beat Bo Nix and his team a couple times. I think it was Baylor or whatever it was. He just looks like an NFL quarterback when he has time in the pocket. Yeah, and to me, McCarthy just reminds me of that traditional hyped up college quarterback.
Trevor Lawrence.
Yeah. Right. So
I mean, and just to piggyback off of that, I agree with you 100%, Cole, because see, here's the thing. And it's funny you made that comparison to Wilson. I didn't think about that, but that's a pretty credible comparison. And the thing is, I'm out on the big arm pocket quarterback. To me, the NFL, do you need the big arm? Yes. But I need you. Defenses are too fast. It's 3rd and 5. Mm-hmm. It's 3rd and 5. Are linebackers worried about you in the NFL at 3rd and 5? Meaning, can you run and throw? Can you make some plays with your legs? Because even Purdy can make some plays with his legs, even if it's outside the design. I'm not sure about this kid from Michigan. Shout out to him for winning the national championship. But I'm kind of over, and I've been saying this for years. The NFL is a league of speed. The defenses are extra fast. Can you make a play when the play breaks down? That's my question.
Shout out to the kid. Well, I wonder what the kid was making on his UIL deal. I mean, I think he got paid.
I think so. I mean, he's a big, strong, no disrespect. He's a big, strong white quarterback at Michigan.
And they won it.
And they won the national championship. Even before
but
they
he
won
wasn't
it.
just an integral part. Like you said, he really didn't jump off the page and light it up like so to speak. They won it.
But you know they made him the face there. Big, strong white quarterback with a big arm.
But if you don't get that Heisman, then it was all for naught. Yeah, you got the natty, but
but I'm just talking about
better than Jaden Daniels, and Jaden Daniels.
But I'm talking about just being on the campus in Ann Arbor. He's a big, strong white quarterback for Michigan football. Of course, he made money.
Well, yeah, and in
you know
light of that,
not because his play. I'm just saying his image.
In light of
what I'm saying?
In light of that, I walk back what I said. It's like, he's not really that safe as a number 2. He wouldn't really want to waste the number 2 drafting somebody like that high. Just to be honest, because it's like in Washington. You guys have a lot riding on a lot. You just fired Riverboat Ron. My honest opinion, it was not his fault. He's a good coach.
Shout out, because you're making a great point. But let me rewind and make sure y'all go back. He said Riverboat Ron. He talking about former head coach of the Washington Commanders, Ron Rivera. I just got to ask. I'm going to let you finish your point. Where did you get Riverboat Ron from?
Oh, that's that man. Like I said, I forgot. It's something that one of the commentators snuck out there right quick when he was
Riverboat.
Yeah, he might have challenged something. He did something fly, and it was like, okay, they said, all right, that's Riverboat Ron. If you taking them chances, I said, yeah, that's a gambler. I can rock with a gambler.
So the casino, Riverboat?
Yeah, like a steamboat. Yeah, like a gambling shack, gambling shack. So it's like that boy's, he gonna gamble out there.
Finish with your observation. My bad. I just had to highlight the Riverboat.
But it's like, y'all need something different in Washington. Because the Commanders, y'all stand to do a lot. I mean, y'all are playing third fiddle because, unfortunately, with the turmoil with Daniel Jones and them, Cole, I'm sorry. Them Giants taking a back seat probably to the Commanders in the division. So it's going to be between Dallas, Philly, and Washington. And with a new coach, and then you get rid of Heineke or whatever the quarterback's name is, get somebody else a little more stable in there. Draft a quarterback is perfectly plausible. Unfortunately, you won't get Caleb. That's the only sure shot in the draft. So you're going to have to do a little bit more research, get on your GM, and at least Daniel Snyder don't own you no more. So, hey, don't worry about it. It's going to be better anyway.
And the bad part about that, too, just to piggyback off that, if they take that kid, guess what? The enemy is gone. Yeah. So, you got to find an offensive coordinator that can make it easy for him. And the thing about it is like you have to be athletic as a quarterback in today's NFL. And I'm not saying the kid's not an athlete, but, come on. You in the NFC East.
He's no Josh Allen.
Exactly. That's exactly my point. You couldn't have said it better. All right, let's get to the association because I'm excited to get to the association tonight. And I'm so excited to see one of the producers step in. That's right, ladies and gentlemen, JT. But I don't want JT to comment yet because I've been waiting for this all day. I got Box Rec pulled up and I got the Boxing Voice pulled up. But I want JT. But shout out to JT for coming into the studio. We're not going to get him in. Well, he can comment on the association, but I cannot wait till we get down to the boxing part of this show. But shout out to JT for coming in. But let's get to the association because these are my favorite parts of the show, the association and boxing, because we do have the money team in here and we do have premier boxing champions in here. So we will get to them later on today. But for now, let's get into the NBA. Let's get into a little bit of NBA trivia. And then, Chuck, you let me know when we got to go to a commercial break. But let's get to let's get into the trivia because we are from the 90s. Everybody that's sitting in this room is from the 90s. And probably everybody that's in the chat is from the 90s. But I got a question. I'm thinking about the Miami Heat. I'm thinking about the playoffs. I'm thinking about playoff Jimmy. I'm thinking about the run in the playoffs. So my next question is: we got a little bit of trivia. Who is your favorite '90s Miami Heat player out of the following, and tell us why? And we're talking about the panel and the chat. And chat, make sure you comment if you want to, or you can call in at 281-969-8190 if you want to comment in on this topics. But who is your favorite '90s Miami Heat player out of the following choices? A, we got Ronnie Cycli. B, Steve Smith. C, Tim Hardaway. D, Dan Marley. E, Alonzo Mourning. F, Glenn Rice. Or if you want to add somebody else, I can't think of nobody else in the '90s who really stuck out to me about the Miami Heat. But here's the choice. Yeah, MASH wasn't that. But if you want to throw MASH in there, but let me go through the choices again. Ronnie Cycli, Steve Smith, Tim Hardaway, Dan Marley, Alonzo Mourning, Glenn Rice, and then Cole just threw in Jamal Mashburn. Now, we're going to go with Cole first because obviously the Knicks took a lot of beatings from the Miami Heat in the '90s. But let's start with Cole. I think Cole would have a lot to say about this. But Cole, who do you think? Who is your favorite '90s Miami Heat player?
So let's get this right. I think they only beat us one time in the '90s.
But I mean, you guys only won twice, right? In the '90s.
Van Gundy was like around his ankle when
someone got jokes over there. It's all good. It's all good. But I'm gonna say Alonzo Mourning, man. That was Patrick Ewing's little protege. Came from Georgetown. He produced with Charlotte, then came over to Miami and put them on the map. And he's still with the organization, is second in charge. And I think that says a lot about his legacy with the organization.
Now let me put you on the spot before you go. Are you saying that because of he playing, or are you saying that because you want to sit up here and give credit to Patrick Ewing for something that he don't deserve to have?
I'm saying a little bit of both, but I could take Ewing out the equation. I could take Ewing out the equation and honestly say that I do have to say he created his own legacy, and he is a Hall of Famer. I think that just the fact that he's still with the organization shows how much he meant to the organization. I think he was one that built that culture there, and that culture continues to this day. So I would have to say he had the greatest impact in the '90s, but the greatest clutch performer on that squad was Tim Hardaway by far.
That's tough, Cole.
Larry, what you think?
I mean, I like everything he said, minus the Pat Ewing nonsense about Lonzo. I think didn't Lonzo stick around and win that ring with Shaq?
He might have been on that team with Wade, right?
Yeah. He won that ring with Shaq, right? Yeah, so he's certainly the number one in terms of that. Ronnie Cycli, he's only on there because of NBA Jam. It's like them boys were way too bad for him to even get major consideration, to be honest. I mean,
I was fishing, man. It's the heat of the '90s.
Is he Lebanese? He's from Palestine, Israel or something? I don't know. I even look. But,
NBA Jam.
No. Look, but
you put them on there before you put Mashburn, yeah.
Now look. Now as far as Timmy's going, it's like I'm with you, Cole. Not necessarily most clutch, because it was like he was again on like the sharp decline. Because this is a different Timmy than the TMC Golden State days. You know what I'm saying? Not even taking nothing away. He was still the same guy, but. I'm not necessarily taking him second.
Marley.
Yeah, same thing with
like that.
Dan Marley.
Dan.
Thunder Dan. This is like Drizzle Dan.
Yeah.
I don't know. He ain't been anyway. But it's like
off the bench behind Sean Leonard anyway.
Who he pulled him out of Minnesota. He pulled that one way out there. Oh man. I respect, Cole. Respect. No, but look, in terms of like clutch. And I wore number 41 for that reason alone. You know what I'm saying? That Glenn Rice had that flame. You understand? Glenn Rice really had 1 or 2 seasons where it was like, of course, MJ, you know what I'm saying, did his thizzle.
But I mean, but is that Charlotte Glenn Rice, or is that Miami Glenn Rice? Because Charlotte, he was nice.
Both. Glenn Rice had a flame to LA. Glenn Rice might even want him. Glenn Rice had him a flame as a Rocket. You know what I'm saying? Not necessarily
dang, we're going too far.
Okay, well, he had a flame, though. He's a pure shooter.
Y'all being biased.
Okay.
Trash, but
Glenn.
I mean, he's sticking to the jersey right now, talking about the Rockets.
Look. And it's like we rocking with Glenn, but then it's like I got to do the change up and really give my man Steve Smith a whole lot more recognition, because Steve Smith had them 6'9" point guards, a whole nother brand of problems out there. It's like, so it's like,
When I think about him, though, I think about Atlanta Steve Smith. I don't think about Miami Steve Smith.
But he was one of them Jamal Crawford types. He had a prime that was like 10 years in some kind of way. It was like he played the same ball because nobody knew how to handle and solve a 6'9" point guard.
That's right.
Nobody knew how to solve it. So it's like
That's good.
It was unfortunate that he was before his time in that regard because they didn't win until much later. But yeah, it's like I can flip flop him and Timmy or something like that. Not taking anyone away because I'm a huge fan of both. But I just got to give Glenn Rice some props out there, man. Shout out to Glenn Rice Jr. All them boys.
Right. And like I agree with Cole, and then the chat is saying it as well. I mean, when I think about the Miami Heat, period, other than Wade, I got to give my love to Zoe. Now the thing about Zoe is, it's like Zoe. He does embody what Miami was. They were tough, they were gritty, and they had to be. They had to go against New York. They had to get out of the East, and so Zoe kind of brought that attitude. I'm pretty sure numbers-wise, when we look at this group, Zoe, because he was there so long, his numbers should be probably, well, at least to Dan Marley and Cycli. And I'm with y'all, man. This list was hard to make. I mean, Miami wasn't that good in the 90s, but and even Mashburn, to your point, Cole, Mash didn't have a long enough campaign to me in Miami. But I could also say that for me, what Pat Riley was bringing down there, I think Alonzo Mourning has to be the number one character in terms of what Miami was trying to be and what they are today. If you look at, and that's a great point by you, Cole, if you look at what Pat Riley had to do, what he wanted to establish down in Miami, nobody fits that depiction more than Alonzo Mourning. Now, shout out to Glenn Rice. To Laro's point, I think Glenn Rice, Steve Smith, and even your boy Mash were very, very, very integral parts of that. But for me, Glenn Rice, I'm taking the Charlotte Glenn Rice. I know Glenn Rice was good in Miami, but I think for Glenn Rice, Mashburn, I don't think their campaigns was that long. Now, Steve Smith, I want to talk about that because that's big. Because Steve Smith, for me, doesn't get a lot of credit that he should get, and it was crowded at his position at that time. I mean, you start talking about the emergence of point forwards. There's Penny. We didn't really understand what Magic was. I mean, we did to a certain extent, but then we started to see Grant Hill. We started to see Penny. I don't even want to throw it. No, I can't do that. But I'll take Jalen Rose, maybe even Big Dog Robinson. The 6'9", 6'8" kid that can handle, that could shoot. So I think Steve Smith didn't get a lot of credit because there was so many killers in the 90s, big guards. Sean Elliott. Yeah. Because here's the thing. All right, now, if you're going to throw Sean Elliott in, I'm going to throw Derek McKee. You know what I'm saying? So, you know what I'm saying?
Derek McKee was nasty.
And then even credit to your man Cole. I'm going to give Cole a little bit of love. Mason was doing that.
And Mason was
the first point forward, right? I mean, it's officially titled that much.
Yeah, I gotta get
it. Nelson, man. Nelson had a running that.
Right.
We'll swing it on to like. Can you do like a Cliffy? Well, no, he didn't handle the ball that much.
Cliff didn't handle that much.
Yeah. Anthony was on that Joker stuff. Like Joker be big man pushing up. Anthony Mason was doing that.
Did he play in Charlotte with LJ after he left New York? Did he play with Larry Johnson? Or did they flip?
I think they flip-flop. Because people don't remember that year, and I'm glad you brought that up. He went to the All-Star game with Charlotte.
Yeah.
Anthony Mason was in that All-Star game.
It was nice.
I'm going to show Steve Smith some love, too, because, again, I don't think he really got a lot of credit because of that. That era was starting to stack up. And, of course, Penny going down and Grant Hill, they were supposed to take that torch from Jordan and Magic. They went down, and so Steve Smith kind of stepped in there, but he just never won anything.
You call him a forward because his knees, or
yeah. You know what I'm saying?
I mean, he wasn't that bad.
I mean, listen,
they called him that.
And even then with Steve Smith, like I felt like your man, if he would have done well, that would have kind of gave Steve Smith some love. But your boy, man, he didn't do anything either. He was coming after Steve Smith. What was the kid that was our dude, Raheem? Sharif. Yeah, exactly. Like he was kind of like Steve Smith's
Waters.
And they were stacked.
Nah,
I
he
wanna
was
say,
water, bro.
Yeah,
Mhm.
He was water.
Yeah, so it's like, man, I don't know. But to answer the question, I think we all agree, man. Like, y'all brought up some good points about Mash and Steve Smith. We're gonna give them love. Glenn Rice too. Because Glenn Rice also fell in the era where the two guard was Jordan, Clyde, Mitch
They
Richmond.
were loaded. It
He
was
had
like a 6 month run, like in
Exactly.
Charlotte, like you were saying, where he was just
Exactly. All right, let's stay in this because we're gonna roll to New York on this. I know Cole gonna I know what Cole's answer is, but I want to ask this because this is getting a lot of airways too. But this was on I cannot think of the name of that podcast. I like to give people love when I take stuff, but I will think of it will come up in a minute as I talk about it. But Isaiah Thomas, meaning Zeke on NBA TV, that's what it was, says that Stephon Marbury should be in the Hall of Fame. Now, agree or disagree, and we'll talk about that, but here's his pro statistics. We're just talking about his pro career. In the NBA, the small time that he was in there, he averaged 19.3 points per game. In China, which is where he made most of his money, he averaged 20.2 points per game. He was a three-time China champion over there, whatever they call it, the CBA, their national league. He was a two-time all-third NBA team in the NBA, and he was a two-time all-star. Now, I'm going to start with you, Cole. I know you might be biased.
I went to Lincoln. What you talking about?
I know. And again, it is the Basketball Hall of Fame. It's not the NBA Hall of Fame. But Isaiah Thomas seems to think that he should be in the Hall of Fame, the Basketball Hall of Fame. Cole, let's start with you since he came from New York City. Should he be in the Hall of Fame?
Coney Island.
That's tough, man.
Ooh,
That's
at least
tough.
you're being fair. He's not being biased. I thought he was.
I can't, because you know what it is
I
that
respect that, Cole.
is when I think of him, I think of certain other point guards that are not in the Hall of Fame that I can't say that he's separated himself from them.
Okay, give me an example of one.
Kenny Anderson,
Okay. Okay.
Terrell Brandon,
That's fair.
Rod Strickland.
Definitely Rod Strickland.
I think all those dudes took their teams to the playoffs wherever they went. I can't recall if Marbury took any of his teams to the playoffs outside of the Minnesota team that 1 year, and that you could possibly say that was more Garnett than him.
But you also got to remember, though, again, this is not the NBA Hall of Fame. This is the Basketball Hall of Fame. Don't forget, because that's what Isaiah Thomas is
Consider
saying.
his Chinese resume.
Yeah, talking about his Chinese resume, who he was in high school, who he was in college.
If you say high school, because that's where I put him in the same category as Kenny Anderson was Kenny Anderson in high school. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So you on the fence about this?
I'm on the fence. I'm on the fence because I think there's a lot of great point guards that just didn't go or are not in there yet.
Laro.
I'm ready. Oh, man, nah, Cole, I'm sorry. I got to ride for your house. Ain't that where Spike got the He Got Game inspiration from? You know what I'm saying?
Coney
Ain't that where that
Island,
came
huh?
from? Yeah, Coney Island. You know what I'm saying? That's what
Yeah.
Jesus showed us worth the whole inspiration for all of that.
Yeah.
Now, Steph was that deal and continued to be that deal. Honestly, wherever he went, as far as I remember, he no. I'm not talking about college. I'm talking about his stops in the league because he bounced around. He played. I can remember him in Phoenix. I can remember him doing the most damage, like you said, in Minnesota. But then I can also remember him being pretty productive in New York. I can remember him being pretty productive somewhere else. He's productive everywhere that he has been, and his dismissal was more political. I'd say it was more like some Mahmoud Abdul Rauf type stuff. They just kind of stopped vibing after a while, and then he linked with his body of work though is almost impeccable because to remember him in the duo of him and Kevin Garnett was just absolutely insane. I can remember thinking, is the kid crazy when he left Ticket in Minnesota after what they had? But he kept, right on along, and it's like, I mean, he's Stevie minus the injuries. And listen, I don't know. He had a miraculous run because he's one of those. He's kind of like a god, sham god, where it's like, well, wait a minute, you didn't even do anything remarkable. However, you got your stamp on the game forever on the strength of one move that the kids out here doing on the playground type of stuff. It was like Starberry. I mean, think of that Starberry.
Starberry. I see that. Know what it is for me? I just see great when you put someone in any type of Hall of Fame. I think winning. And I think there's a lot of stars out there who make it and who are really dope but then they fall off. It's like those rappers that be hot for an album and then they just disappear.
But you can do commensurate work while you doing the thing, and not win necessarily like Penny Hardaway. It's like you just continue to work, or it's like, and he didn't even have the debilitating injury. He had the Derrick Rose and change his game up tremendously. He's been playing basketball the same way since high school. And he's a master of his craft. I can't take that away from him. Just like I can't take that away from Kenny Anderson. Just like I can't take that away from Rod Strickland. All them boys 100. It's like they got a rich legacy.
In my mind, when you brought up Kenny and Rod, I was like, them dope. In my mind, Starberry fall with the BDs and the Stevie Francis.
Oh yeah,
right. He in that category.
Because he'll bang on you too.
Yeah,
he had
exactly.
athleticism. He had that athleticism.
But to your point, I'm not sure if them niggas go to the Hall of Fame. You know what I'm saying?
Well, let me say this. Let me say this. I could understand both sides where y'all come from. Like, I definitely understand. I know for Cole, Cole is biased in terms of New York City. And I know for New York, it was a big disappointment because of what he was in high school, man. He's arguably the best point guard to ever come out of New York City. Arguably, it's an argument there. Just hearing that amongst all the legends on the street ball missions and all that. So for him to come to New York, and I know they had high hopes for him, he didn't do much. Not saying that's Cole's sole reason, but Cole makes a valid point.
You're right. He only didn't do nothing in the apple.
Exactly.
I can remember him scrubbing that in the apple. That's it.
But to Cole's point, it's like, it was always so much hype around him. Did he ever live up to what people thought he should have been? And I'm talking about the NBA. Now, on the reverse side, to me, the Hall of Fame should be about winning, but it's also influence. Other than Yao Ming, who has done more work in China as far as basketball and international basketball. So for me, his body of work over there in China, just his work in China and his high school and college career, to me, he gets in. To me, he just gets in just based on his influence and what he stood for. But I definitely get what Cole is saying as far as his NBA career, for the hype that he had. Think about how much hype they had in Minnesota. And people could say, yeah, Garnett was there, and Garnett was a big deal. But think about all the hype they had. Think about what he did at Georgia Tech. Him and Iverson were the best two guards. They were changing cultures as far as the crossover, the guards with handles. And then, Marbury was a guard that could do everything. He could dunk, he could cross over, he could shoot. One knock against Baron Davis is he couldn't shoot as well as a Marbury. One knock against Allen Iverson is, well, he not 6'2" like Marbury and can bang like that. Iverson was nice, but Iverson's thing was more speed and skill. Marbury had everything. So if you think about all the hype that he had in the NBA, did he really, really live up to what we thought he could be? For me, Stephon Marbury in the NBA was great. I mean, he was good, but he never got to what I thought he should have gotten to.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? And it could be political, like Laro said, but he never got there. But overall, other than that, his influence in China, I mean, other than Yao Ming, can you think of a more decorated figure in Chinese basketball other than Stephon Marbury? I mean, he actually
seen that ball over here in a minute. I think he's moved.
He's over there, he's larger than life. And I mean, outside of Yao Ming, who's been able to do that? A 6'2" guard from Coney Island. You know what I'm saying? So for me, his influence, I agree with Isaiah Thomas. If you talk about his influence over in China, I mean, who was going over to China to play?
Nobody.
You know what I'm saying? So it's like, I don't know, man. I think he should get in. I think it should be about influence. I think when you talk about the Hall of Fame, Cole names a good point in terms of, some people it should be about winning. Some people it should be your influence. Some people it should be, your entire body of work. Some people it should just be rings. Like it's just whatever, something has to stand out about your career that says that's one of a kind. You know what I'm saying? And for me, just his influence, his high school career and his influence in China, I think he gets in. His NBA career to me was disappointing. That's just my assessment of it. But, at the end of the day, it is what it is. All right, I want to go to this next topic, and then we'll get to the NCAA, and then we'll get into boxing. But this is an optional question, but I'm gonna go ahead and ask this because I want to know if it's fair. I want to know if it's fair because here's the thing. Much like rap, a lot of times when rappers get killed, they sell a lot of records. But to me, who is your greatest Laker of all time? And I'm going to give you two choices, Magic Johnson or Kobe Bryant. Now, both of them have statues. Both of them have 5 rings. But when you think about the Los Angeles Lakers, and let's just keep it to these two because they've had so many greats. But for me, these two in particular, these two stuck with the Lakers. They were lifetime franchise players for the Lakers. But in your opinion, ladies and gentlemen on this panel and even in the chat, who is your pick for the greatest Laker of all time? Let's start with Laro first. Out of Magic Johnson and Kobe Bryant, who is the greatest Laker in your opinion?
Much love to my man Kobe. So y'all already know how I'm finna go. You know what I'm saying? I love Kobe. I'm high on Kobe. I'm glad you just said that because I didn't realize that Kobe had 5 until that point. I don't know what I was thinking, but I gotta go with Alphabet Irv, man. Alphabet Irv won off the rip, and really, I mean, he owned the decade, just like Kobe owns a decade, and Kobe owns his era. And like I said, shout to Kobe. No disrespect to Kobe. Love Kobe with it. Kobe has arguably a greater impact because Kobe had to work at it and stay at it. So I guess technically by those metrics, he could be considered the better Laker, considering they both retired with him. But Magic got cut down in his prime. Understand that. Magic might have squeezed that 1 or 2 more years, depending on how Bus and them created that team from there on out after that. That was a tremendous shakeup with him leaving basketball, and I forget what year it was. Like
91,
92.
Right.
So it's like, nah, you talking about the greatest of all time? I mean, who does it like that? Just think about anybody else who does that. And I know Kobe didn't go to college. But it's like, who wins a natty and then comes in and wins the NBA championship right after that, and then continues winning several for pretty much a decade and is competitive outside of that, and change the position as a 6'9" point guard, ball control point guard who created Showtime. This was an era in pop culture. I'm not even pop culture. I will say I don't know. I'm not sure. It was the 80s, but. Who knows? Crack culture. I don't know what they said. But Magic got it, bro. Real stuff. Magic got it. Love you, Kobe. Miss you, Kobe. Kobe was the hardest working and stayed at it enough and understood what it took. But Magic was a natural, baby. It was magic. Put that in the face. He named himself. Well, he didn't name himself. But who's more deserving of the name Magic? It was Magic. You ordained to do it when your name is Magic.
He gotta get at the Magic, bro. He changed the whole dynamics of California, period.
You feel me? Hollywood.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? He brought a whole new dynamics, bro. Like he brought fur coats to the Staples Center, man.
The Great Western.
You know what I'm saying? That boy had actors, man, dying and bidding for the front seat. That'd be in the front, the full court action, man. Magic, bro. I'm gonna go with them letters.
You feel me? Because I got to be hateful. It's like, yeah, Kobe got a statue, but Shaq got a statue too. A lot of people got a statue. We ain't gonna make that the metric. You know what I'm saying? Bud got a statue, and that's because they're immortal. And Kobe deserves his statue just like the rest. Yeah. However, the Lakers been great a long time, and unless you want to mention George Mikan and all these other antiques that don't necessarily.
And then Magic is still putting the stamp on the Lakers. He still got to say so with them boys.
Magic on the Dodgers. Magic on the baseball. Y'all remember Tinseltown? Like Magic got his hands on everything.
He is California athletics, bro.
He is the business model for everything that everybody black ought to aspire to be. Just being all the way honest with you. I'm not gonna lie.
I mean, y'all make some great points. But we talking about, you're right. Y'all make some great points. But we talking about the Lakers, the basketball career. But Carl, what you think? You agree? I see you shaking your head like you agree.
I was gonna agree with everything they said. I mean, he played with the Jerry curl, he played with the fro, he played with everything, man. Like he was a winner. Honestly, I think that he made basketball what basketball is today, between him and Larry Bird, setting it off and setting the platform for Michael Jordan and Kobe to live off that legacy. I think the impact that he's had on the game in regards to creating Showtime, making celebrities come sit courtside and watch games. from being a spokesperson for HIV to beat HIV to
Man,
like everything he's done, he's been a winner. Like he's
Not
just
only
been
to
a
do
winner
it.
in everything he does. He's Starbucks. He's what
Boogie,
Poppy Papa John's. He's Magic Johnson
popcorn.
Theater. He's everything you could think of. Like he's set it up for every single athlete to follow his motto. And not only that, he came in his rookie season, won a chip, played all 5 positions. Don't get me wrong, Kobe is one of the greatest ever to play the game, and probably the second greatest Laker ever. But you can't compare him to Magic, man. Magic is just like he said, just like Laro said, the nickname Magic, man.
Right.
We don't call him Irvin Johnson. We call him Magic.
Yeah, and the thing about it is the reason why I asked this question because I knew we all were going to answer to this the same way because I'm saying to myself, we are just biased. But for me, I agree is Magic because at the end of the day, like I tell people this all the time, Magic Johnson should be in the debate of GOAT. And the reason why I say that is that I and I'll get into a little bit of LeBron. I don't necessarily compare LeBron to Jordan. I think they have a different trajectory. I think LeBron is more comparable to Magic, and the reason why I say that is because you got to think about this. Coming out of LeBron came out of high school, and I'm gonna try to make this as comparable as I can. But for me, Magic Johnson
won a
just
state championship too.
right, not even well, just that. I mean, he's always been a winner. But the thing about Magic Johnson is that for somebody to come into the NBA as physical as it was at 19 years old, 1 year in college, and for him to step in and be the man of that team. You know, that's why I compare LeBron to him because one thing I give LeBron credit for is that if you think about LeBron, in the spring, he was playing for a state championship in Ohio.
Mhm.
And in the fall, he's leading the Cavs in 20 points a game in scoring. Whereas when you take the trajectory and the careers of Jordan and Kobe, there was a little bit more development that had to go on before both of them started winning. Even for Kobe, he set out the first 3 years.
Mm-hmm.
There was some maturity that had to take place. Jordan, though he was doing his thing scoring wise, he didn't learn how to win until he had to go through some things. Whereas Magic Johnson, and some people would say this about LeBron, immediately came in and took on that superstar role and played an integral part in their teams. And I'm talking about winning, not just scoring points. So for me, everything that y'all named about Magic, from business to everything, but it's just on the court for Magic Johnson to step in at 19 years old and to be the commander of the ship. And
As a point guard, right? As a
point guard. And don't forget about this. How many 19-year-olds can step in on a team, even different than LeBron? Because when LeBron stepped on that team, he was the alpha dog. But you got to think about this. Magic Johnson stepped on a team with the Hall of Fame center who was headstrong in Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. Not many 19-year-olds would have stood up to Kareem and say, hey, man, hey, big fella.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
I'm going to put it all in perspective like this. There might not be an Air Jordan sneaker had Magic Johnson not taken the Converse D. You understand what I'm saying? Like if Magic Johnson had signed with Phil Knight and Nike back when they was pitching that,
I didn't even think of that.
Like think of that.
Yeah, that
it might not have been as big a deal or big a market for Jordan. There might not be Jordan on my. Well, I ain't wearing
and
today,
again,
but.
And we just add that.
I didn't think about that.
That's just to the business thing. Like the business model, like y'all said, Magic Johnson not just makes him the greatest Laker. Like not even with Lakers, but just for I can say Magic is transcended as far as business. Period. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Because he even knew his worth. Well. Yeah, but he even knew his worth at 19 years old. Negotiating his contract. I think on the winning time they kind of talked about it where they was like. Magic came with a number and they was like, well, Kareem ain't even getting that. And Magic was like, well, y'all can either do it or we can ride. What you gonna do? And they had to do it. You know what I'm saying? And like y'all said, the executive, he's still a part of the Lakers, Starbucks, and all that. But I'm just talking about as a Laker, just like think about this. 19 years old, you got Kareem Abdul-Jabbar on your team, right? And you come in at 19 and you saying, hey, big fella, at the end of the day, I'm gonna step in, and I know you one of the greatest centers of all time. But if we're gonna make this go, I gotta have this ball. And I'm gonna create. If you ride with me, big fella, and think about this: who would have the nuts to tell Kareem, say, big fella, and this is Kareem,
Almost prime. Hey,
this is Kareem after he won in Milwaukee.
in Milwaukee.
No.
You said who would have had the nuts to tell him?
No, Chuck.
You don't think Kobe would have been?
No, Kobe was a mouse.
Kobe got choked out.
Kobe stood up to Shaq.
But you got to remember though.
Kareem would have probably choked him too.
Yeah,
but he still would have stood up.
But you got to remember, where was Kobe? That's what I'm talking about.
This was as a rookie.
This is 19 years old, Magic. Kobe was on the bench in 19. Kobe didn't play.
Employee number 8.
Yeah, he didn't play to his third year. We gotta remember that. That's the only thing that don't compare to me on the court with Kobe and Magic is that Magic, not only he came in physically mature, but he came in mentally mature with Kareem. Because Kareem was the best player in the league, hands down. He came in there and was like, hey, we ain't gonna give you the ball all the time. Kobe didn't do that until he got a little bit more nuts on him. That's big in 19.
After the first chip, really.
Exactly. So, and that's no disrespect to Kobe. I'm just saying what we don't give Magic credit for as a Laker is Magic came in ready.
Number 1 pick in the draft.
Came in ready and took the pressure. Because even I like in Magic and LeBron's career, right? But LeBron still was a little timid. Like, I don't fault LeBron for a lot of the immature things he did, because for me, like even the Miami, the whole debacle, having the
decision.
Yeah, that's because he never had the college years to mature, and you don't do that. For me, that was LeBron's college, I'm growing up time. That's why I never compare LeBron to Jordan. The experience was different, but at the end of the day, LeBron had to do a lot of growing up. Again, in the spring, LeBron won the state championship. In October, he leading Cleveland in scoring in 20 points. That's big. But even bigger than that is Magic Johnson. Not only am I leading the Lakers group, I'm creating an era. Because, again, if you watch Winning Time, and I believe Winning Time, Kareem was like, hey, man, why are we doing all this running? Just give me the ball. And Magic was like, big fella, I got a high school championship. I just won a national championship. Climb on, big fella. I'm going to get you the ball, but climb on. That's big. So for me as a Laker, and people don't, that's what I'm saying, people don't really understand, and I'm not, y'all named all the great accomplishment off the court. Like, to me, Magic he should be on Forbes, he should be everything business-wise, but I'm just talking about on the court. At 19, like, just think about what you was doing at 19 years old. At 19 years old, could you go into Los Angeles and say, hey, we're gonna make this, we're gonna change the way we do things? Magic got a coach fired in LA because he was changing how they play. And it worked. Like, Dr. Jerry Buss hitched his wagon to a 19-year-old rookie, and he already had the best player in the NBA on his team with Kareem. And it worked out. Like, nobody, to speak to your credit about business and your credit, Cole, nobody was having cheerleaders dance at the games until Showtime, which was inspired by Magic. So Magic not only started an era, created an era, culture, he set the culture, but even just his game on the court, 19. You feel me? And then I'm gonna end it on this with this topic. The great game where, and my pops made me watch that because I was Jordan. My pops was like, go watch that game when Kareem went down, when Magic had the boombox. I'm shout out to Winning Time at HBO. They showed it. And they was like, man, Cap ain't going to be able to play. Cap was Kareem. And Magic had the boombox. And they like, man, we ain't got Cap for the last game. How we going to win? Magic put the boombox on his shoulder in the airport and said, have no fear. We going to be all right. I'm going to play center. In the championship game, and what did he have? 42 points, 15 rebounds. He had a triple-double and like 12 assists. 19, 20 years old. Kobe didn't do that and win. Jordan didn't do that and win at that time.
Plus, haven't played center.
Yeah, he played center, and they won a championship, 1 through 5. So to me, it's Magic, man. I just think people sleep on Magic's greatness, man. Like, I don't know.
Because he was a point guard. People don't quite understand
but
the
even
contributions of a point guard.
Even as a point guard, he was something different though.
Exactly.
Did we ever have a point guard? And no disrespect to Big O, he was the triple double king. But did we ever have a point guard in the NBA championship game go, I'm playing center? And matter of fact, not only am I going to play center, I'm going to play point center.
And change the game.
And change
20
the game.
years before its natural evolution
And
anyway.
the thing about it is, I tell people about this, about greatness. A lot of times when it comes to greatness, people have a hard time dealing with it. Because it's like, we're going to get to this later. I'm so glad you're here. But I tell people this all the time, and y'all was all at my house when I talk about Terrence Crawford. I thought he would beat Earl. Okay, I thought he would beat Earl. I was going for Earl because he's from Dallas, Texas. But when I watched him do what he was doing, it's like when you watching greatness, it's like this don't make sense that he beating him this bad.
At all.
You know what I'm saying? Like I'm sitting there going like this, it just don't add up. This fight is not supposed to be. Now credit to Cole because he gonna sit up here. He's a casual fan, but he gonna say, yeah, he did say, yeah, he gonna knock him out. But that's just Cole being an underdog hater because every time I pick something, he go against it. But my point is this. Same thing with Magic. When people were watching Magic, like it just don't make sense. Somebody 6'9" should be doing what he doing. Like they was trying to make him play power forward, and they was like, but he not a power forward.
Is that how you feeling about the homie Wemby right now?
Huh? To a certain extent, yeah. I told you that. I told you that. I told you that when I'm watching him do the stuff, I'm like, it just don't look right. Him being able to do that at 7, it don't look. And if I
handle too, that kid got handle.
It's like when I'm watching it, even like I told you, when I watched the dunk, I'm like, he literally sat up there. That shit don't look right to me. You know, like what am I watching? You know what I'm saying? That's the thing about greatness. It's like sometimes, even in music, when you like, sometimes, in my opinion, sometimes when I would hear Pac and Jay, like sometimes when Pac would say shit, and I'm like, how did he put that together like that? Even with Jay, it's like, nobody comes up with that. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? And then I'm hearing
I got them words.
Black Album, right? Like I'm hearing the Black Album in 2004, and I'm still listening to it today. Like it's not even so much what he said; it's like how he putting this shit together, and his lyrics are just still relevant to this day. You know what I'm saying? Like sometimes, and I'm like, this is greatness. You know what I'm saying? But at 2004, I'm just like the beat nice on the Black Album, but when I'm listening to it, I'm like, he was saying some profound shit. Like even Pac, the music that they found for Pac, I'm like, this dude was 23 years old saying this. Like the world wasn't ready for it. You know what I'm saying? So I'm looking at Magic, even to this day, I've seen Penny Hardaway. I'm seeing these big guards, but watching Magic, it's like,
It was different.
who was bringing the ball up in 1981? Backing people down, shooting hook shots, but then coming down, throwing the ball. Who the hell was doing that?
Hey, Magic
At
damn near,
6'9".
he damn near invented the no look.
Exactly.
He damn near invented the
Like
no
who
look.
was doing that? Now, no disrespect to Kobe, but I saw Jordan 2.0. I saw a Jordan with a handle. And that's not Kobe's fault. Everybody. Exactly. And I'm like, I've seen this before, but okay, he got a little bit better handle than Jordan.
You ain't never
know what I'm
seen
saying?
no Irv.
But I ain't never seen nobody do that. You know what I'm saying? What Irvin was doing. So, I mean, and then I'm going to give you another thing, and I'm going to get off this. I'm talking too much about it, but people got to remember that 91 squad was trash. They got to the finals against Mike. Now, I knew Mike and them was going to win, but Magic was out there with 2 knee braces.
Pulled the hammy.
Yeah, no. Tony Campbell was on his team. Challenged Volley Deep. That team wasn't that good. Byron Scott, Eldon Campbell. I'm like,
able to go though.
And I'm sitting there saying to myself, Magic is good to get them to the NBA Finals. You know, that was 91. So I'm even disappointed. Like, Jordan, y'all should have swept them. You know what I'm saying? The Magic, the fact that Magic was able to get one game, go back and look at that 91. That 91 team was trash. Yeah. So credit, and that's when Magic could barely get up. Like people saying, man, Scotty Gardner, well, Magic could barely get up the court. Yeah. So Shout out to Magic, man. All right, let's get to this NCAA. Then we get in the box and we're going to get out of here. I know we burning the
Let's
oil
drop an
tonight.
ad real quick.
Yeah,
before we
drop an
switch
ad,
topics.
man. As I'm heating up, I can't wait to get on these PBC haters, man.
Oh, Lord.
Yeah, Premier.
Yo, rep the movement with Most Serious Fashions. Copy your fresh snapback or hoodie or a tee. All representing the Mo City Podcast, Debate with Bake, or Gloves Up, Guns Down. Everything is custom made with love from our top-notch manufacturers. We got a dope range of colors and sizes to fit your vibe. Everything from blue, red, green, black, white, and more. Rep the Mo and keep it fresh, fam. Hit up moseries.com/merchandise and order today. Let's go.
Shout out to MoSerious.com. Go on there and check out your merch, man. Get your caps, get your hat. You can look at on Cole's screen. He got the Debate with Bake hat looking fresh. Cole, kind of look posing the screen right quick. There we go with the Debate with Bake symbol created by yours truly, Chuck. Give him credit for creating all this. And go to MoSerious.com, copy a snapback, get you a hoodie, get you a t-shirt. We got Debate with Bake. We got Mo City the podcast. We got Mo City. We got all kind of things on there. But go on there to MoSerious.com. Get your gear, man. It fits well. I wear my hoodie almost every week. We got to get Laro draped up. And let's keep it going, man. Mo Serious doing a lot of big things as far as apparel and cosmetics and everything. But check us out. You also got Mo City the movie on there. We got a lot of things on Mo Serious, man. We doing it big, and you need to support us. We here giving you action, whether it be music, clothing, or anything of the sort. We got bags. Chuck, Chuck told me last week, he like, because they be making fun. I come in with like a office looking bag, and JT be killing me. He be like, man, I be coming in with this leather bag. But Chuck was like, hey, they was being nice to me. Chuck was like, I can get you a bag, you know what I'm saying, and put the Debate with Bake on there. So I'm gonna be on Mo Serious pretty soon.
Right.
Thanks to my producers lacing me up,
true.
man. They, I gotta give it to them, man. They be lighting me up, but they telling the truth. I do be coming in here with the leather bag, and I ain't but 43 years old. And I was thinking about, I'm like, this bag make me look like I'm 75 years old going
At
to the
least,
steam room.
bro.
You know what I'm saying?
So
Coming in with the snapping briefcase.
Look, Johnny Binder walks in with a leather bag.
Shout out to Johnny Binder, man. And he is 70 years old. You know what I'm saying? So he get away with it. But anyway, check us out on MoSerious.com, man.
They could be going to church with the suitcase and pulling out the Bible and stuff like my grandfather.
Hey,
listen, wiping your nose.
Hey, listen, man, we all gotta adapt, man. But go on MoSerious.com, upgrade your styles and your fashion. All right, let's get into it, man. There's a lot of news going on, and Chuck talk about it, but we gonna wait on it. But we got a lot of things going on in the NCAA tournament. A lot of good victories. I love this tournament because anybody can lose to anybody on any given day. All you gotta do is be better than somebody on one day. But to stick with the NCAA tournament, of course, Kentucky messed up everybody's bracket by losing to Oakland in the first round. Now, the question I have about Kentucky is this. There was an episode on Undisputed where the almighty Skip Bayless says it's time. It is time for a change at Kentucky basketball. That's right. Skip Bayless says that John Calipari needs to go. Now, credit to Skip Bayless. He pointed to the last 5 years of Kentucky basketball, and I want y'all to hear this before y'all, or I want y'all to think about this when y'all answering this question, but he said, 5 years ago, Kentucky missed the tournament. That next year, they missed the tournament, which was year 2. And then the year 3, they was a first round upset like this year. They lost by 15 to St. Peter's. And then last year, they lost to Kansas State. And they were a 3 seed in the second round, meaning Kentucky was a 3. So, and then this year, they lose in the first round to Oakland. And they only won one SEC tournament game in 4 years. Now, Skip says it's time for a change in Kentucky basketball. Just reading the things that I just read off about the last 5 years. And we'll start with you first, Laro. Does he have a point? Is it, or should Kentucky consider moving on from John Calipari? Is it time for him to go?
Consider it. I'd say they ought to be past it. Absolutely, it's time for him. Did John Calipari come from UMass?
Memphis, I think.
Oh, Memphis.
I know
that's the last time he
I
won.
think he
was in Memphis.
Remember, he was there. And to your point, in Mass, he was there with Canby and Dante Dingle and all them, or Dana Dingle and Dante Wright. And then he went to Memphis. Remember, he had Derrick Rose.
Okay.
That
so
year,
he won with those guys.
Memphis,
Okay,
right.
So it's like you're looking on a real limited body of work in terms of success, and it's like to just up and give him 5. This is Kentucky, you know what I'm saying? This is like the intro to something else we finna really, really get into and dig in a little bit. But nah, you got to get rid of him. This is Kentucky. Like, y'all have really fallen out of contention. They kind of y'all like UVA at this point. They just giving y'all a bid, and it's like kind of pseudo 3 seed is that? You know what I'm just, and I'm not knocking. I'm a Kentucky fan. I'm a Kentucky guy, so y'all know how I'm riding later, but. Yeah, you could. Cal's got to go. Cal's had his heyday. He's not connecting with somebody on some particular level. Kids don't want to go no more because it's like, think about it. We living in the days now where kids ain't even got to sit at. If that program was in any way alluring the way that it used to be, kids would go. Cal ain't got that.
Cole, what you think, man?
I kind of might have to disagree a little bit because I gotta say, for the standpoint of you replace them with who?
It's a great point.
It's Kentucky. Besides that, he has produced NBA players. You got Tyrese Maxey, you have Quickly, you have this kid, that white kid Reed that's on their team right now. He reminds me a lot of Devin Booker. And I promise you, I think he's going to be something special in the league.
And I think that's Jeff Shepard's kid that used to play with Kentucky.
That kid is nice.
Yeah.
And then you also have Dillingham, who is supposed to be another lottery pick. True. And every year he's producing lottery picks and he's bringing that talent. The difference is that now college is everyone's either going to the G League Ignite is about to change, but you got people and honestly, I heard the NBA might be changing the rule back to where you can leave straight out of high school and go back to the NBA. So it's harder to recruit. Players are going everywhere because of nil deals. And you can never get no consistent chemistry as far as building a team. Like next year, Duke can win it all. They got 6 of the top best 9 players in the country coming there next year.
But that's what I'm saying, Cole. Where does the buck stop though? Like that's all I mean. Like, where do we hold him accountable? Like 5 is a long time. That's a long time.
My thing is if you lose him, can you replace him with anyone who's going to be bringing an NBA talent?
Like absolutely.
Unless they're going to bring Coach K back. Unless they're going to bring, someone with that cachet, the dude from Jay Wright from Villanova. Like, there's nobody else that
it's got to be Tony Delk, Antoine Walker, somebody on deck.
Oh, man, come on. Tony Delk, Antoine Walker, man. Jesus Christ, man. Shout out to Antoine Walker, man. He's like 400 pounds, man. Yeah. But, to add to that, man, I see both sides. I see both guys' argument. Now, here's my thing. When I was thinking about this, I'm saying to myself, and Larry brings up a good point in this, the expectations for Kentucky is high. But I asked that question, like Cole said, who do you replace him with? But here's my thing. As Kentucky, as a school, you got to ask yourself this question because, and here's the problem. To me, this is why they're losing. It's some of what Cole is saying. Yeah, I love college basketball now because it's more even as far as talent, and we see that in the tournament. Every year, somebody that has no business knocking off a blue blood does. But the problem with Calipari in this situation is this, and people got to remember this, and Kentucky endorsed this. The appeal that John Calipari can give the kids is this, especially if you're a guard, if you're big time, you can go to the NBA within 2 years. So what happens with that is you have to start over. Cole talked about chemistry. You have to start over. In order to win these NCAA tournaments, it comes with experience. Kids getting to the tournament, losing, making adjustments, winning, experience. Every year, your guards are going to the NBA. So now you have to start over again, go find another McDonald's All-American. And so Kentucky has kind of went to bed with Calipari with that philosophy. So it doesn't surprise me, and that's what I worried about Kentucky is that Calipari can go to the hood, he can go to the projects, and he can tell them, I had De'Aaron Fox, he's in the NBA. I had the kid in Philadelphia that Cole was just talking about. He
Tyrese
spent the
Maxey.
year or two. Yeah, he spent the year or two with me. I had John Wall. You know, I had Anthony Davis. All these kids came here to me. If you come here, you're going to the NBA. So he hung his hat on that. And I wondered that because here's at the end of the day, as college basketball starts to get more even, and now you have the transport portal where, yeah, you're going to the NBA, but the other side of that is when these kids leave, now the program is going to start to suffer in terms of winning because you have no chemistry. College basketball is all about kids coming in, learning how to win, learning how to deal with adversity. Now, you're not getting Anthony Davis. You're not getting De'Aaron Fox all the time. Those guys were just good. John Wall was just good. They were all Americans. They were going to win in the first couple of years.
Rondo went to Kentucky.
Rondo went there too.
Rondo went there.
But here's the thing.
Randall.
Here's the thing, and this is and everybody has to pay
That
attention to
Kentucky
this.
squad was so hard. Man.
Yeah. But you have to remember that when you have kids that instantly go to the NBA, and it looks good for your program because, you know, one of the things I say about programs is two things, and I knock my high school program for this. Number one, can you win? Yes. Number two, but are you ready for the next level? And Kentucky has been able to do that with their guards. But the drawback to that is you may not win in college because guess what? Those kids are only there for a year or two. How are you going to learn how to win? How are you going to learn how to deal with adversity? Winning the NCAA tournament, you have to get there and experience it, whether it be a coach.
I don't attribute that to Cal though. I attribute that to that. That's already that's like Patino. That's old Kentucky culture.
Yeah, but
you
the
know
thing
what I'm
about Patino, the difference is with Patino though, his kids was not necessarily, not all of them. They weren't like Calipari has put a string of point guards. Right? Me and Cole talked about it a couple of episodes back. It's like guard you. It's like he's put a string together where guards have come through there and just been instant NBA players, and they stay.
They produce NBA ready products for sure, but that's like, man, shout out to John Chaney, man. It's like I kill you, you know. It's like, nah, man. John Chaney told us about this boy a long time ago.
Yeah, but the thing about it is when you're doing that, when you constantly putting kids in the NBA that quick, you're going to start to suffer as far as winning, and being able to constantly go back to this tournament and do something significant. Like, here's the thing, like Skip got a point, like they only won one SEC tournament game in 4 years. Well, these kids are 17, 18, 19 years old.
But y'all finishing at the bottom of the SEC.
Yeah, but again, you putting a lot of winning on 18 and 19-year-old kids. That's going to start to fizzle out.
Is that a lot to ask?
1 year.
But is that a lot to ask of a non-cohesive unit of kids that's going to school for free? You getting blue chip athletes?
Yeah, but again, but so much
it's still Kentucky.
But so much, but again, so much of winning is kids being able. It's you being able to build a team and fixing that team through the years.
So you think NIL has hurt that as well, even, you know?
To a certain extent, but I just think
I don't think it hurts him.
I just think this is the drawback of my players are one and done. I just think that's what it is. You're going to start to lose because here's the thing. I got Anthony Davis this year. He's gone. What's to say I'm going to get another Anthony Davis next year?
Few and far.
Exactly. And so I got John Wall this year because it was an unbelievable John Wall, Eric Bledsoe,
De'Aaron Fox,
Malik Monk. They had an unbelievable, like Tyrese Maxey, Devin Booker. They had an unbelievable run. And you got to ask yourself, how long is that going to last?
And that was all under his tenure?
Yeah. And they were, and that's the thing. And even then, as good as they did, they might have won 1 or 2 national championships out of it. They didn't win the whole thing.
That's true.
They just they were good, but you got to also ask yourself, how long are you going to be able to do that? But
he's on the hot seat then, so to speak. I don't know if you get rid of him.
The thing about it is, like, to me, he could be. I could understand why you would say, hey, it may be time to change that. It might be time to, but Kentucky went to bed with that. They made a lot of money off that. We're going to talk about the next topic on that too. But, and like Cole said, if you get rid of Calipari, that means you got to start over in an NIL era.
Mm-hmm.
You see what I'm saying?
With somebody NIL ready, so it's like,
Yeah, and it's like maybe he needs to lose more to say, okay, outright, this is, but I mean, they still made it to the NCAA tournament. They just not doing what we used to do it. Now, go ahead, Cole.
And who you gonna bring in as a coach that has a track record to say that not only do I send players to the league, but every single one of my players are all-stars.
Exactly.
Or Hall of Fame potential.
And see, that would be, and that's big for me. That was my biggest knock. I always said Carolina was better than me than Duke, because Duke, for all the success they got, it was only a handful of players that did anything significant in the NBA. I'm talking about in the earlier years. Now we got Zion. To me, back in my time, in our time, like the best player that came out of Duke, and Kyrie was there for 8 games, was Jason Williams, but he got in a car accident. And Grant Hill would have been like that anywhere. You know what I'm saying? But most of those guys that came out of Duke, they wasn't ready for the
Brand.
Shane Battier.
Corey Maggette. Duke has some ready-made guys now.
But I'm talking about what Cole says, all-stars.
All-stars.
Like off the bat.
If you look at Carolina versus Duke, it's not even a comparison when you talk about the NBA.
How long would it take for JT to become an all-star?
But that's recently. I'm saying over the years. Vince Carter, Rasheed Wallace, Michael Jordan.
Ready. Carolina.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Stackhouse.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So for a while it was like, but Duke
James
guys
Worthy.
wasn't James Worthy.
Yeah, you're right.
Kenny
I can remember that team with Elton
Damn,
Brand
Tar
might have
Heels.
sent 4 in the first round, and
them
none of
really
them boys,
did.
all them
None
boys
of them-
were.
and so that was my biggest knock.
Real A-free.
I love Coach K,
I don't.
but it's 2 things for me in high school and college programs. Did you win? Yeah. But did you prepare your players for the next level? Because that's what I give UConn over Duke. That's what I gave Syracuse over Duke. Now, Syracuse is not that further ahead, but Duke guys don't do nothing in the NBA.
Even as of recently, who's the team that played Carolina with Caleb? Because I thought I was tripping. I was watching Arizona, and so I think it was Caleb Love playing for Arizona, and I was like, man, I could have said, boy, I got a brother or something. I was like, oh, okay, I'm tripping. He was at Carolina.
He was at Carolina.
a year
Then he
or
went
two
to
before.
Michigan, and then he went to Michigan for a year.
Really?
This is third school. Yeah, and now he the Pac-12
It's
player.
wild.
Right, but that was my biggest knock.
That portal, man.
Right, and that was my biggest knock about that, in terms of like, man, come on, like the Duke players don't do nothing. You know what I'm saying? But that's the thing about Kentucky. They got a rich NBA history, and let's get to that. We're gonna get to that. Then we're gonna get to one more topic, and then we out of here. But the next topic is talking about Kentucky. Now, UCLA versus Kentucky. All-time starting 5, and we got this off the All the Smoke podcast with my man Matt Barnes stat. But Kentucky has 132 players in the NBA. UCLA has put 102 players in the NBA. Now, who would win out of this squad? John Wall, this is Kentucky squad. John Wall, Devin Booker, Tayshaun Prince, I can't never say his name. Anthony Davis, DeMarcus Cousins versus UCLA. B. Davis, Jrue Holiday, Reggie Miller, Kevin Love, and Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. Cole, who wins?
I'm taking UCLA.
Cole was gonna say that.
I'm taking UCLA, but I would have probably took off Tyshawn Prince from there. I probably put Julius Randle there.
Well, this is their list. I'm with you. I wouldn't necessarily put this starting 5.
I'm taking UCLA because I think, to me, honestly, I'll probably take Kevin Love's career over Anthony Davis' career.
Anthony Davis won a natty
in the pros or in college?
I'm talking about in the pros. I'm talking about Minnesota, Kevin Love.
In the pros?
That's a debate.
Wait,
I get what he's saying.
Wait.
I get what he's saying.
Davis got a bubble chip though, right?
Yeah, but he made a good point. Think about Minnesota, Kevin Love before LeBron.
Oh, bro.
Come on, Laro. You got to give him credit for that. You got to give him credit. You thinking about the bubble in Cleveland.
Now, y'all keep hitting on these mental health awareness boys, man. There's a DeMar DeRozan argument. It's like, no, I don't care about your headaches being no millionaire. out there playing basketball.
Blake Cole got an
We would say it
argument
like
on
Avery
that.
Johnson, basketball. Huh? No, I'm for real. It's like, nah, man, nah.
Okay,
nah.
So you not. So which squad you taking?
I'm taking Kentucky. I'm taking Kentucky with modifications. I have to modify the team simply because, like I said, Tayshaun Prince is a winner. But Tayshaun Prince is not who I could take at the 3 coming out of Kentucky. It's like I look at Ron Mercer, I look at Jamal Mashburn, I look at Ant Walker.
But this they team. This who they. This is Matt Barnes and all them said.
I like that we switching up what they did though.
Yeah,
that's cool.
Yeah.
I like how you remixed the team, fam.
But that I'm just saying
they left Westbrook off there too. Russell Westbrook.
Exactly.
So.
Russ West, Zach LaVine, Lonzo.
But this is their team. This is Matt Barnes and DeMarcus Cousins.
You know what? Pound for pound, Hall of Famers. I as much as I don't like it, sorry, to the north. Yeah, man, I rock with Cole, man. I guess UCLA because it's like they got dogs. It's like I don't think Reggie Miller did shit, but Kareem Abdul-Jabbar did everything there was to do at UCLA, and it's like Baron Davis was only a fraction of who Baron Davis became, and he started that at UCLA. I have a very vivid memory of that. So it's like he couldn't be contained, even with a prime John Wall. So it's like pound for pound, if I'm talking about what I saw and the winners that I saw, yeah, I rock with.
And again, I want to emphasize this for the audience. I got this off All the Smoke, so I'm giving them credit. This is not my Kentucky all-time squad, and this is not my UCLA.
You feel me? Because Boogie put himself in there, and I was like,
Exactly.
wait a minute, Bam Adebayo, wait a minute, it's a lot of boys you could have thrown on his team.
Exactly.
Wait a minute.
This is just for them.
You could put the old Bannon brothers on here.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Toby Bailey, some of those guys.
Right.
Right.
I mean, I'm a rock with UCLA too.
Earl Watson, Aaron Afalo, you know, man.
Bannon brothers.
Yeah, and just because of the fact that like nobody was better in college than Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. Like, I mean, they changed the rules because of Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. Yeah, like nobody, DeMarcus Cousins could do nothing with Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, that was Lou Alcindor in college, man. Like, they didn't let him dunk because he was dominating so much at UCLA with John Wooden, man. Like, they tripping on Boogie tripping. That's why Boogie out of the league. Yeah. These kind of takes, man. Yeah, he tripping, man. He tripping. All right, let's get to this last topic and we're going to get out of here. It's been a good show, man, but we've been going a long time. All right, I definitely got to get to this boxing thing because I need to know. And I wish Chuck had the damn duck sound. But let's get to it, man. I want to know this because I ain't going to lie. I've been defending this dude, you know what I'm saying? But I got to put him in the same category as Javante Tank Davis, a.k.a. Abdul Wahib. That's his new name now. Shout out to Tank Davis.
Wait, what?
But that's he converted to Islam. You know what I'm saying? But hold on, we're gonna get to that now. Cole, me and you, we both got to talk about this too. But we got everybody here. But Canelo Alvarez over the weekend, it was an interview that they gave him. He said he won $200 million and a possible rehydration clause to fight David Benavidez. Now, he's asking for $200 million up front. And what I mean by up front, ladies and gentlemen, is this. This is not even the money that David would get. This has nothing to do with the event itself. He's saying in order for him to take place in the fight, this means David ain't getting nothing. This is just Canelo. Canelo wants $200 million for this fight against David Benavidez. Okay. Now, what's been going on all weekend is that they've been talking about, you know what I'm saying, they comparing this because you know who they going to compare it to? Floyd. Now, here's the thing about it. Not even Floyd asked for $200 million. Now, Floyd earned $150 million with Pacquiao. He earned it.
But is that with the pay-per-view gate with everything else?
Yeah. So Floyd,
back him up.
This is what Floyd do. Floyd said Floyd wanted $100 million, basically. But he never asked directly for it. You know what I'm saying? Like, he would tell promoters, yeah, I'm worth $100 million.
Was it a percentage though? Like, did he negotiate it of? Was it
nah. He just wanted a lot of money. He wanted a lot of money to fight Pacquiao, but I think he was asking for something like 50. Don't quote me on that, to fight Pacquiao, which was manageable. You know what I'm saying? But he never
Not on the.
He didn't
asked.
demand it.
Right.
He didn't
So,
negotiate a back end number.
right. Well, and then at the end of the day, the beautiful thing about Floyd, because I'm not a hater, is that Floyd, when all was said and done, when the numbers tallied up, he would have earned 150, maybe 200 million. You know what I'm saying? But he gambled on himself. He never asked for it up front like that. So here we are. We seeing something totally different in boxing. And I'm under the impression that this is a duck. Why? Because here's the thing. This is ridiculous. And there's a lot of people around in the boxing world saying, well, you know what? You can't get. He's starting the negotiations. Okay. Who the hell is going to give you $200 million up front to fight David Benavidez? Who the hell is going to give you that amount of money up front to fight David Benavidez? Nobody has never asked for that kind of money. All right. Now, some people would say it's a good business negotiation, but I'm going to show you why it's not. Chuck, go to the Boxing Voice, the rankings, because I want y'all to see this. Now go down to the super middleweight division, which is 168. Ladies and gentlemen, we're talking about the 168 division, 168 pound division. Shout out to the Boxing Voice for the rankings. Here we go, right there, Chuck. Super middleweight, 168 pounds. Now, as you can see, there are 5 sanctioning bodies, 4 to be exact. You have the WBO, you have the IBF, the WBC, and then there's another one, the WBA. If Chuck goes a little bit over to his right, it should be a WBA ranking. Go over to your right. Well, there it is right there. They put it right there. Now, at the top of these divisions, what do you see? Saul Canelo, which makes him the champion of the WBO, IBF, WBC, and go down again one more time to the WBA. Now, go back up for me, Chuck. You can also see the Ring magazine. They have a belt. He's also the top. So he's undisputed at 168. Ladies and gentlemen, undisputed means you control all 4 belts of the division. That means you're the king of the division. Now, I want you to look over to the WBC side. What do we see? Saul Canelo Alvarez, and it says WB Super Middleweight Champion. And underneath that, who do we see? David Benavidez, WBC Interim Champion. Now, the way this works, Cole, is that in the WBC, which is the main, that's the division that Floyd made popular.
He got removed for inactivity?
No. We're going to get to that. He ain't got removed yet. But at the WBC is the belt that Floyd made popular. That's the green belt. That's people think that's the most popular belt. That's the WBC. That's the belt that Floyd got all on it. You know, the picture where he got the pool tape and he got all these green bases. Because a lot of people think the green belt is superior to the IBF, WBO, and WBA. Mm-hmm. Now, Canelo Alvarez controls the division. David Benavidez sitting in that WBC interim belt. What that is the WBC, and this is because of Floyd's influence. Shout out to Floyd and his influence in boxing. The WBC created a WBC interim belt, and the WBC super champion earns the status of you the top dog, and you don't have to fight certain fights. When you're the WBC super champion, you get a number one contender volunteer. I mean, a number one contender. People get the challenge, as you see Jaime Munguia, who Canelo's finna fight on May the 4th. He's the number one contender. Wait. So hold on. So Canelo, because this relates to Tank too. So we're gonna talk about that. All right. So as you can see, on May 4th, Saul Canelo Alvarez is gonna fight Jaime Munguia. So when you have the super champion status at the WBC, like you see with Saul Canelo, you get a chance every now and then to fight the number one contender, and you get what they call a voluntary pick, where you can pick whoever you want to fight. All right. Now, my point is this: David Benavidez has been sitting in that WBC interim champion spot, which makes him number 2 in that commission. Now, for years, Canelo Alvarez has not fought David Benavidez, and he told David Benavidez, in order for you to get a fight with me, you need to fight Caleb Plant, some of the top 168. As you look over contenders, you see Caleb Plant, number 3, Demetrius Andrade, who for years was in 160. So David Benavidez said, you know what? I'm going to fight some of these guys, and will I get the fight? Maybe. So David Benavidez has been cleaning up the division. He's been beating people, right? And so they asked Canelo Alvarez. Now that Benavidez has just beat Plant, Demetrius Andrade, he's beat the top guys at 168. Will you give him a fight? Canelo says, I'll take that fight in a heartbeat if somebody give me 150, 200 million. So I'm saying to myself, who the hell demands 200 million or 150 million? Which means to me, what you do is you don't, to me, and this is the same thing, we'll get on Abdul Wahib in a minute because he's related to this too, a.k.a. Gervonta Tank Davis. This is the politics of boxing. Cole, you still there? Because I don't want you to miss it. Yeah, you paying attention. So they asked Canelo Alvarez over the weekend, what does it take? David Benavidez has been doing everything. He's been cleaning out the division. He's been moving. Canelo Alvarez says, I will fight him in a heartbeat if somebody will guarantee me $150 million, $200 million. Now, to me, that's energy of let me set a price so high, nobody's going to take that price. Now, there's one young man in boxing who can pay for that. That's the Turkish Al Sheikh, his excellency in Saudi Arabia. He's a guy in Saudi Arabia. Many of you all don't know. They rich. They got a lot of money, oil money. Yeah, he wants to bring boxing to Saudi Arabia to build up the country. So the only person that can afford to give Canelo that kind of money would be the Turk. Well, the Turk comes out yesterday and says, listen, I'm not giving him $200 million for that. Okay? Question number one, and I'm going to relate this to the young man in Baltimore. Is this a duck or is this a business negotiation? I start with you, Cole.
I think it's a business negotiation.
I knew he was gonna say that. You know why he's saying that?
I think you always
relate it to Tank in a minute. This is why he's.
I think at the end of the day, you always go high because you want them to hit the real number that you have in mind. So you say something outrageous and then they come down.
Okay, so now that the man that could give him the money says hell no, is it the duck still? Or is it still a business negotiation?
He says hell no, and then they probably talking behind the scenes, and then they'll negotiate at 140 or 130, and he get what he actually knew.
See, this is wrong with our sport. Go ahead. All right, go ahead. So, Cole, you think it's a good business negotiation? I think even though your favorite fighter of all time, Floyd Mayweather, never demanded that.
I think for him and for Tank and those people, I think they can because they're the top of the crop right now. They're the icing on the cake right now in boxing.
I'm glad you said
got to understand this is a different generation. I'm glad you said if Mayweather was around, imagine what they would pay him. The Arabs would have paid him. Imagine what they would have paid him. He might have got $400 million for a fight.
Okay, all right. Now you see the energy. You finished?
He might have got $400 million for that Pacquiao fight.
All right. So once again, to your point, Floyd never asked for that. He earned it. But let's get your opinion. We'll come back to you because we're going to go around the table on this. Go ahead. What do you think? I'm with you. I think it's nervous energy.
Bro,
but go ahead.
That's duck talk.
Duck talk.
And I tell you why it's
quack,
duck talk.
Quack.
$200 million is a severance package. That's telling me I need hazard pay. He going to beat my ass so bad.
Because he know he can't win.
This is the end of my run.
Exactly. That is retirement money.
I got to load up the wagon because this is going to be the last y'all see.
He knows he's not going to win. He knows he's not going to win.
Yeah,
but isn't that smart to get paid what you get paid? Because he knows if he does fight and he does lose, his earning power goes down.
He knows, and I know he's not getting $200 million. He knows that. Mm-hmm. So what the energy is, let me price myself out.
It's almost absurd. It's almost like don't ask me.
So I can say, you know what? I didn't fight because they didn't give me the money.
It's like they last roll. What you need to fight 70-year-old Mike Tyson? I'd be like, I don't know. We're gonna have to really talk about that number.
Exactly, because I know I'm not gonna win.
Yeah, and that old man might throw something at me, make me think about something down the line. Might wake up months later and have some flashbacks. I need some severance pay.
Exactly.
I mean, I can understand that, and I can understand the business side of it too. However, I'm just not used to intermingling the fighting business with the coward business. Is all I'm saying.
Okay.
I don't think it's coward business. I think he understands that. Hey, at the end of my career,
I can lose.
No.
I need retirement money.
But think about it.
Lose. Because here's the thing. He's fighting Jaime Magia. Hold on. He's fighting Jaime Magia. So Chuck, go over to Jaime is ranked number 1 in the WBC, right? Now go back up. You see Jaime McGinn? He's fighting Jaime McGinn May 4th. You think he asked for $200 million for that fight? You know why he didn't? Because he thinks he can win. That's why.
But listen to this, Bake. Just listen to me for 1 second. I get that because he knows he could win. Therefore, he still keeps his record. He still keeps it so he could get another fight. If he fights Benavidez, he loses value.
You're the face of boxing.
Listen for a second.
Dictate the terms.
He fights Benavidez, he loses value, and he won't get as much money on the back end.
If he fights Benavidez and he loses, I need that retirement check, baby.
But what if he wins?
But that's business. That's business.
That's what I'm saying. Y'all. That's what I'm saying. That's why I'm glad you and Jason are here, because y'all make excuses. Now go down, Chuck, because this relates to Abdul Wahib too. We're gonna get JT's go down, because I want to show you what the duck that.
135.
Yeah. So go down to 135, Chuck. Keep on going down to the lower. Keep going down, because this is where Abdul Wahib is at. Right there. Hold it right there. Now, as you can see, we got vacant, and let me explain this to you, Cole. You see all those vacants there?
Mm-hmm.
That's because Devin Haney, who's on my t-shirt, occupied all those spaces, and he stood there for years. Go down, Chuck. Let's go down to the famous WBA. Now, who's at the WBA at the top of the WBA? WBA Super World Lightweight Champion Gervonta Davis. Devin Haney for years, much like Saul Canelo Alvarez, sat at the top of the WBA. And guess who was the number 1 contender at the WBA? It was Gervonta Tank Davis. So when Devin, as you can see, there's a lot of vacant spots right there.
Can I ask you something?
Hold on. So Devin sat there for years waiting to fight Tank. Tank would never fight him. All right, cool. I don't move that way. Now, you know why he don't move that way? Go to BoxRec for me. Let's go to Abdul Wahib.
Can you explain something to me before you
I'm
go
about
on
to explain to you.
for the viewers? And for the viewers.
Yeah.
What I don't understand is how you have WBC and WBA, and then you have the other 3s that are vacant, right?
Yeah.
And how do you have 2 champions who are not even on the list of top 10 for those other categories?
What do you mean? Who are you talking about?
The WBC, Shakir Stevenson's, and then you have Gervonta Davis. Okay,
let me explain it to you. I'm going to explain it to you right now. So Shakur, his last fight. So that belt was vacant, the WBC, the one you see where Shakur is sitting there. When Shakur just fought Edwin De Los Santos, they fought for a vacant belt. Shakur won, so he took that belt. Abdul Wahib. Go ahead, go down.
Those pieces. What I'm trying to ask is how are all these light middle, super light middleweight, right?
Yeah.
How come your 2 champions in the WBC and the WBA not even listed on the Ring, WBO, and IBF?
Because the Ring does what they are. Shakur is in there. They both in there.
Where?
Gervonta's number 2, Shakur's number 4.
Yeah, but what about the WBO and IBF?
They're vacant because Devin was holding those spots.
Devin just vacant. I'm saying, how come those 2 ain't ranked? How come Gervonta ain't ranked on the WBO and the IBF?
With those 2 sanctioned.
Because Gervonta, that's a great question. Because the WBA, go down to the WBA, Chuck. You know what the WBA stands for? It really stands for World Boxing Association, but it really stands for what benefits Al, as in Al Heyman. Most of his fighters fight in the WBA. Frank Martin, who Tank is from the fight, from Premier Boxing Champions. The WBO is what benefits Bob Arum, meaning top rank, Shakur. Mm-hmm. So you're going to notice that it's political stuff in boxing. Mm-hmm. All right. So back to my point before you try to get me monologuing to try to get me off my point. The point is this. The point is exactly this. You see all those vacant spots is because Devin Haney controlled that division. And for years, he was asking Tank, please fight me since you're the number 1 contender in WBA. And Tank said, no, you don't fit my plan. You know why? Go to BoxRec. I'm going to show you why. And this is y'all money team champion. Go to BoxRec. Because I want you to notice something, Cole. Go down, Chuck. A little bit. I want to look at the opponents. Let's look at their last names. This is the Mayweather green print, by the way. Okay. Ryan Garcia. Hector Luis Garcia. Rolando Romero, Isaac Cruz, Mario Barrios, Hugo Ruiz. I'm sorry, not Ruiz. Ruiz, he's Mexican. Go down. Ricardo Nunez. Keep going. Go down, Chuck, just a little bit more. For the viewers, Fonseca. There's a wash. Then we go back down to a Pedraza. So what I see, Latino fighters. So that's why I asked the question, is this ducking season?
No.
Because we don't see Stevenson. We don't see any ain't scared to me.
No.
You see what I'm saying? So it's all set up to follow Mayweather's blueprint. But here's the thing. Mayweather fought all Latino fighters in his second part of his career when he was getting a bag. But they want to call it a bag. I'll call it ducking. Canelo Alvarez wants to set a, like Cole says, a good business decision when he knows nobody's going to give him $200 million for a fight. That's
He'll
ducking.
settle for 100.
Huh?
I'm sure he'll settle for.
So why not just say, give me 100?
Why? Because that's not a
Because
good
that nigga
business
low ball
deal.
will come lower than 100.
You always shoot for the stars.
Thank you.
Baby. What
So
you mean?
so isn't Floyd
and on top of that,
So-
wait,
so-
wait,
okay.
wait.
Even asking him.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's disrespectful. That's like
disrespectful.
that's-
and then
that's-
to
the
add to
Inuit-
that, hold on, to add to that, you know what Abdul Rahim, aka Javante Davis. So the Sheik said this, since Devin is Muslim, he said, I'd like to get that fight over here with you and Javante Davis. They call Tank say for me even to
Two for Ferraris.
No, hold on. That's not the fight.
Oh.
That's just for me to have a conversation with you.
Oh.
And you know what the Sheik said? I ain't even sent you no terms and you asking me 2 Ferraris to talk to you?
Yeah, he ain't got no business, man.
That's out of line. I
That's
almost
what I'm saying.
I
It's the
put money
same
on
thing.
your head.
Exactly. That's ducking. That's asking for something that you know you ain't gonna get.
But is that
And you gonna set
ducking? Is that ducking or is that ignorance?
Yeah.
He just seemed
You
like
know
he
this
was
man is not
like
gonna give you 2 Ferraris for you to pick up the phone.
It's dumb negotiation.
No,
Well-
you know this man not gonna give you 2 Ferraris for you to have a conversation with him. You ain't even talking about the fight. You said for him
He
to
may
call
not know
you.
that. He may
gotta
be used
say-
to getting what he wants out of
Dumb
life.
negotiation. bro.
You see these fans?
No.
This is why
Well,
boxing
can I
is
ask
so
you
messed
this?
up.
Before
This
we-
is why boxing. So
before
you
we
can
even get
ask
on-
for a number that you know this man ain't gonna give you, and then you're gonna say, "Well, he ain't give me 200 million." So I ain't
Because I mean, in
fighting.
reality, that don't open negotiation, that closing
Thank
negotiation,
you.
that tell you get the hell out of my
See,
mouth.
thank
Don't get out of here, man.
See, Larry,
well, let me-
and Charles, I could agree with you for our generation, but this is a new generation of podcasters and entrepreneurs and stuff.
So
They
it's
don't
not-
think like
it's
this. They
not a
shoot for the stars. They
So,
shoot for the
all right.
stars.
So let's just talk about your generation, which is our generation.
But can I-
Is that not a duck? Is that not a duck? I know you ain't gonna give me 200 million, but you gonna put it out there that in order for me. And here's the thing: you gotta
Didn't-
fight.
didn't
Here's the
Michael
thing.
Jordan have to
Hold on. Here's the thing: all your fights, all of your fights have never see the difference between him and Floyd. At least when Floyd got the 100 million from Pac, I could see a trajectory where Floyd was 50, 60.
Oh, and he had beat Oscar. He took shit
Yeah.
money to beat
and
beat
then,
Oscar.
and then when he started controlling things, you could see Floyd moving up his pay-per-view numbers. But Floyd earned that.
Yeah.
This dude is asking for this.
Well, can I ask you?
He ain't earned 200 million. What fight has Canelo Alvarez fought other than Floyd Mayweather, which he lost, that you would think, Cole, that you would think is worth $200 million?
But now let me say this. Now you said he earned it, right? You said Floyd earned it, right?
Floyd earned it, right.
Look at Tom Brady. How do you think these
Not a
TV
comparison.
No,
Not a
I'm gonna give you an example.
Not
I'm
a
gonna give you an
comparison.
example.
The
How do you think
NFL
these television broadcasts? Wait.
The NFL is a whole season, not
Wait a
comparable.
second. How do you feel these television broadcasters feel with Tom Brady being offered $200 million to be a television broadcaster?
They got to eat
You
that.
have
That's
dudes
dope.
that been there for years.
But here's the thing: Tom Brady is going to be on every Sunday broadcasting. This man is asking for 36 minutes of work for 200 million. And here's the thing, Cole. That's what I'm saying. You fail to remember this. We ain't even talked about paying David Benavidez. We ain't even talked about paying for the venue. He's saying up front he want $200 million Forget everybody else. Forget the opponents. Forget the promotion. Forget all the fans going on. Forget. He's saying to even. So how are we going to put that together? How are we going to pay David? How are we going to pay his people? How are we going to set up the venue in Saudi Arabia? How are we going to get TV networks and everybody to come over? The kind of money he's asking for, you can't even do that for an entire fight, for an opponent. When Mayweather fought Pac, Mayweather earned a lot of money on the back end, pay-per-view sales. Mayweather, in his own right, as y'all go, I give him credit, as much as he's worth, and he's Richie Rich of boxing, he never asked for that. You mean to tell me the man that lost to Floyd Mayweather has the right to ask for more money on the front end than Floyd Mayweather?
Yesterday's price ain't today's price, man.
It's a duck. That's what's wrong with boxing. And you a hypocrite. I'm going to tell you why you a hypocrite. You sit up here and say Terrence Crawford is the greatest of all time. Terrence Crawford ain't never asked for nothing. And it's arguable. You said it yourself. Terrence Crawford could be better than Canelo Alvarez. You're being a hypocrite.
But he doesn't sound like him. You could be better, but certain people sound. There's rappers in the rap industry that are better than a lot of rappers, but they don't sound like other rappers.
Okay. So let me ask you this. If Jay-Z don't ask for $200 million, you mean to tell me, I ain't even talking about today's price, all that bullshit y'all talking about. So that means that a less than rapper
Drake,
who ain't put in, no, we ain't talking about Drake, man. That's different.
Wait, I'm just saying.
So Canelo Alvarez ain't Drake. So that mean you mean to tell me this? Okay, let's use Drake. So you think Drake, who ain't put in nearly the amount of work that Jay-Z did?
Yeah, he can ask for more than Jay right now. Right
now, Bad Bunny can ask for more money than a lot of
he can ask more.
You see why you got your hands in your head?
This
is what they tell me about boxing.
But this is the truth. You act like we're sitting here. This generation is different.
Yeah, we accustomed to boys that have handlers. It's like, man, you just fight the fight. Go on over there, man. You ain't gonna talk about no say nothing absurd. That sounds like Dr. E, $1 trillion. Like, no, man, come on, ain't even
asking for $200 million. Here's the thing: you got a fight coming up in May. You asking for this amount of money because you don't think you could win.
I think he's asking for it. He has another price in mind. In my eyes, I think he has another price in mind. They're going to come down 50, 60 mil, and he's going to get that 140, which is probably what he really wanted.
I promise you, Floyd slapped his head when he said that because it was like, nah, you pimped your hand asking for two.
Off, man.
So how long has he been sitting at number one?
Yeah, he's not at number one right now. He's not number one. The number one fight in the world is either Terrence Crawford or Inoue.
So why is he at the top position on all them?
Oh, in that division, that's the thing, because it's like Benavidez cleaning up the division. He killing all of the contenders in each one of the divisions. He doing all the work that Canelo's supposed to be doing. Yet Canelo won't give him that one fight to just unify that.
And so they ask him, what is it going to take to get that fight? Now, here's the funny part about this. I'm going to give another point.
Wait, but hold on. Answer that question for me.
What?
How long has Canelo been?
He just got there in 2022. He just got the last belt for Undisputed in 2020. So here's the funny part. Here's the funny part. You're asking for this amount of money. Okay, now, and credit to Floyd. Floyd can ask for that lot of money when he fought Pac, because Pac, 8 division champion. He had belts. Floyd had a belt.
Mm-hmm.
Benavidez don't have a belt. He got an interim belt. Benavidez has never been a multi.
Yeah, it's fly. He's the number one, the permanent number one.
It's just like I told y'all about Ryan. Tank, you asking for a rehydration clause and a catch weight to a guy that's never been a champion. Is that not scared energy to me? But you fighting. Listen, you about to fight Frank Martin in June. You ain't asked for nothing. And Frank ain't got a belt either. Ryan ain't never had a belt. Scared energy.
Matter of fact, Frank might be a mistake. It's like you and me.
Exactly. And guess what? And here's the thing. How many fights did Tank have? He got like 30-something right now. Yep. This is one of his first black fighters.
That's what I'm saying.
Now, y'all want to say he can live the lifestyle of Floyd, but Floyd, as Pretty Boy, did all it. That's what I'm saying. Floyd did all the work. But Tank get to reap all the benefits.
I mean, had wars with even if you want to do it like that, Mexican fighters. It's like Jose Luis Castillo. So Floyd saw a lot of mean fighters on
That's
the
what
way
I'm
up.
saying.
before he
And y'all
even-
want, and that's what I'm saying. You with the fucking debate with Bake hat on, gonna sit up here and tell me Terrence Crawford is the best fighter in the world, and then you gonna turn around and tell me and say it's not
Because
a joke.
it's two different things. It's like I said, it's like you have rappers that are nice, but then you have rappers that sell. You get what I'm saying? And right now, people are going for what sells. We all know Crawford's the best boxer in the world. But then there's certain people like Gervonta Davis and they sell. So you play on that. You play on that. I'm not knocking them for the.
So 200 million.
Nah.
A guy that you.
I'm gonna be honest with you. I'm gonna be honest with you, Bake.
No belts.
Bake.
200 million.
I'm gonna aim high, but I know in the back of my mind, if I'm trying to get a certain number, I'm gonna aim high and let them shoot me down. But I'm still gonna get my.
And here's the thing. And my counterpoint to that is you're fighting Jaime McGear. You didn't ask for that kind of money, and he's got the same resume as Benavidez. You didn't ask for that kind of money.
Because of that clout that come
But
with it.
that's just a setup fight. That's just
They're the same. Neither one of them have a significant belt. Neither one of they. It's not like he. See, that's what I'm saying about Floyd. At least Floyd asked for that money against Manny Pacquiao.
Well, and you taking the bank
At
off
least
the
he
table.
asked for that.
What you doing is
that was also Mayweather's last
Hall
fight.
of Famer at the time was probably the best two fighters in the world. You asking for this money for somebody who got an interim belt?
Was
That
that
was also Mayweather's last fight, though.
Yeah.
No, it wasn't. What you mean it wasn't? It's not his last
Pacquiao and Canelo were like his last
Okay,
fight.
so back to my point. It was his last fight. I need that retirement money. Yeah, I need that retirement money. And guess what? He didn't even ask for 200 million. He earned it. You know why? Because Floyd wasn't scared. Floyd knew he could win, unlike Canelo.
But you also
You know why you asked for that? It's only two reasons why you ask for that kind of money. Number one, here's the point. You ask for that kind of money because number one, I'm not sure if I'm going to win. And number two, I might get my ass whooped. So I need to ride off in the sunset with a nice check.
But
or you see it from a different perspective, you say, hey, the Arabs are paying everybody to fight over there, paying them mad money. Let me ask them.
So my counter, again, and we're going to get off this because we got to get out of here. But my counter argument to that, why you didn't ask for that for Munguia? And Munguia, and go back to the Boxing Voice rankings, Chuck, because here's the thing.
He knows he's going to win that fight. And he knows he can fight another fight after that. He can fight another fight. He can't say that was Benavidez.
You just made my point. You just said it because he knows he can win that fight.
But that's smart. That's genius.
No,
you have 100 in and 100 now.
Because that's a
He keeps his marketability, though. He keeps it.
Hold on. To your point to Munguia, let's go down to 168 again. Because here's the difference. There's no difference between Munguia and Benavidez. All right, super middleweight. So Munguia is number 1 in the WBC. Munguia in the Ring magazine is number 5. Okay, him and David are pretty much the same. But here's the thing. You just said it, Cole. You ask for that. You don't ask for that money with Munguia because you know you can win. You don't know if you can win against Benavidez, so you ask for 200 million.
What I'm saying is, I'm agreeing with you, Bake. What I'm saying though is that he keeps his marketability. He fights Munguia. He makes free money because at the end of the day, it's free money, and then he shoots it back up for Benavidez because he still has his undefeated record. Now, if he loses to Benavidez when he asks for more money, he walks off in the sunset. Imagine if he loses to Munguia. But wait a second. Imagine if he loses to Munguia, right? If he can't ask for that money for David Benavidez.
Right. Here's the thing. My point exactly. Jaime Munguia is the number 1 contender in the WBC. He has no belt. David has a Mickey Mouse belt, a W interim belt. Just in case Canelo gets sick, we have somebody else that can step in his place. Both of them are undefeated. Both of them have never unified a division. Both of them have never won belts in another division. Unlike Pacquiao, when Floyd fought him, Pacquiao had 8 divisions that he won, several belts, and he unified divisions. So I can understand Floyd saying, give me my 100 million, because look who I'm fighting. But your guy asked for 200 million to a guy who's only fought in 168. You know David Benavidez's first fight outside of 168 is coming up at 175? And he's asking for 200 million, just like I said about Tank. Tank, you never put nobody else in a hydration clause, but when it comes to Ryan, I got to get a hydration clause and a catch weight. That's what I was telling you. He was fucking scared. Excuse my French podcast, but unlike them, my shirt says Devin Haney. Undisputed, moved up to 140. Go to the 140 division for me, Chuck, right quick. and then we're gonna get up out of here.
What's 140? Junior welter?
That's super lightweight.
Super lightweight?
Super lightweight. Yeah. So right there, Chuck. Now when you look over at that WBC, who's the champion? Devin Haney, who just left. Go down to the 135 division again for me, Chuck. Who just left. You see a lot of vacates in 135? Because you know what Haney said? Go down. Go the other way, Chuck. You know what Haney said? Tank won't fight me.
I'm out.
I gave Shakur an offer. They won't fight me. I'm out. Now, let's go to Cole. One more thing, and I'm going to get out of here because I'm getting my blood pressure going up. Go up to welterweight. Let's look at your favorite fighter, Cole. Because your favorite fighter is actually ducking, too, right there. Yeah. So he undisputed at 147, but my guy is sitting over there at the IBF. And my guy, they gave him the belt because Terrence Crawford wouldn't defend undisputed. So you know what my guy said? You want your belt back? Come and get it. And what Boots said? I mean, what Terrence said? Well, Boots don't bring nothing to the table. Duck action. That's all I got to say for the night. Hell of a show. Hell of a show. Because guess what Terrence Crawford's going to do? Hold on. Go up one more. Go to 154. This is nervous energy. So he going to go up and fight the winner of Tim Tszyu and Sebastian. I'm going to go up there and fight them. You know why? Because my guy said, go back down to 147 one more time for me, Chuck. My guy said, you want to be undisputed 3 times? You want your belt back?
Come get it.
Come get it. And what Terrence say? Oh, you bring nothing to the table.
I go fight one of them bums.
Yeah.
Let me go fight a bum.
Yeah. Let me go up to 155, 154, because I don't want no smoke with that youngster.
And you only need but one belt. You can be undisputed.
And you said and he 2-time undisputed. No disrespect. He up there.
No. Yeah,
but he said he want to be 3 times. So Boo said, all right, well, I got the IBF. Come get your belt, homeboy.
And you prime to do it unless you know something that we don't know.
But the duck action in boxing,
that's what I'm saying.
It's unbelievable. It's unbelievable.
He don't bring nothing to the table.
It's unbelievable.
He bring a belt.
He bring a belt. Exactly.
What you mean?
I could give it to you if you say Gervonta Davis is ducking someone. I could lose that argument. I could lose that argument.
I'm going. Go down
to say Crawford is ducking anybody.
Listen, let's go down one more and then I'm done. I gotta get out of here. Let me go down to 135 again. Go down to 135.
Don't say Crawford is ducking.
Now, this is what Tank want to do. Go down to the WBA. Go down to the WBA, Chuck. What benefits Al Heyman? Go down one more. So instead of he's gonna fight Frank Martin, right? Instead of unifying the division, go up, Chuck, to the WBC and seeing who's the champion at the WBC. Instead of unifying and taking over the division, we're gonna fight Frank instead.
To keep the belt. You keep control of the belt.
Keep control of the belt. And like JT say, it's a money thing. But why not unify? You know why you don't want to unify like Canelo?
Because you're not ready to. Well, you're trying to politely say.
Because most boxers, I'm only gonna fight somebody I know I can beat.
In this day and age.
Yeah. Because sitting right over there, and Tank is the cash cow. Tank sends the contract. Sitting right over there at the WBC is Mr. Shakur, Mr. Rappalot himself. And Shakur can't send Tanker out because he ain't the ace out. He not the bag getter like they say. So why not take over the division and send Shakur an offer?
You should be able to do that. You should give him the split. And the thing is, and the thing me and you really kind of identify with, they struggling with is, it's bad for the sport.
Exactly.
Don't make the fight.
But it's all about the bag.
Just make
it's all about the bag. It's all about the bag. And I just showed you on Tank's resume, Ruiz, Hernandez. Give me some more Hispanic.
Sure, yeah. Lopez. Garcias. Yeah.
Ramos. I see a lot of,
Like I said, I ain't mad at him, but just like, do your homework. Look at Devin's resume. Devin cut his teeth like that. Devin might have spent first 5-6 years of his career in Mexico, knocking out the Hispanic boys.
But to everybody, this has been a long episode. We appreciate you coming in. Shout out to everybody. Shout out to the U of H Cougars for moving in in the Sweet 16. Shout out to my man Larry with the Rockets jersey. The Rockets have been 10-1 in March. Top 3 net rating, top 3 offensive rating, top 5 defensive rating. They cleaning up. They knock on
I've had coach.
and they knocking on the door to get into the Western Conference. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to my man Bo Jackson for being elected to the Kansas City Royals Hall of Fame. And I got another shout out. Shout out to Turkey Alex Sheik for exposing the truth about the two faces of boxing. The two called faces of boxing were both rejected by His Excellency and insisted he is more interested in working with the opponents that they avoided, i.e. Devin Haney being avoided by Javante Tank Davis, i.e. David Benavidez being avoided by Saul Canelo Alvarez. Shout out to the man that's exposing the frauds of boxing. Shout out to Cole for coming back in with us tonight. Shout out to Laro, JT, Chuck, everybody. And that's how we going to close it out. My man, Devin the Dream Haney going to fight on 420 against Ryan Garcia is going down. We out.
No doubt.
Bullshit.